a good movie. Number one, it's crazy that it's a Disney movie, but so he's like a professional treasure hunter or something. I don't quite understand, but they learn that there's a map on the back of the Declaration of Independence, and they have to steal.
What?
I know, it's crazy.
That sounds
You should
wild.
totally check it out.
The Declaration of Independence?
I know, man.
Oh,
How do you
yes.
steal that? And then in the second one, they kidnap the president.
I never saw it coming. Gotta be honest, I never saw it coming.
Oh, God. Interesting fact, Nick Cage, 1 Oscar. Leonardo DiCaprio, 1 Oscar. Equal actors.
What's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie? I'm always
Wicker
curious to
Man.
know.
Hands down, Wicker Man.
Wicker Man?
Hands down.
I've never seen that.
It's the worst. It's so bad. It's the remake of a terrible movie that already was terrible.
Ooh,
That's
very
how.
nice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's so good. There's a moment where he and a woman come together. They stare at each other. A few seconds pass by and they say nothing, and he just punches her right in the face. It's incredible.
Oh my
love
gosh.
it so much.
Upas says Con Air. Con Air is a good one. That's like actually like a decent movie. Though.
Con Air is a very good movie.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think that it's my favorite though.
The thing about Nicolas Cage is your favorite Nicolas Cage movie has to be like one of the bad movies. I feel like Face Off.
Well, it has to be.
You remember Face Off?
Oh, I remember Face Off.
That's quite a film.
Yeah, I remember like a 2-minute monologue where he talks about eating a peach. It's wild. It's wild.
Oh man, I remember
OCM.
the scene where
Yes,
he
you
starts
can have a
peeling
shout-out.
his face off. I always
Oh my
had to
God.
look away. It was hard to watch.
The Rock, actually a good movie.
The Rock is a good movie. Yes.
Actually a good movie. Season of the Witch. Him and Ron Perlman. Amazing film. Terrible film. Amazing though.
Ooh, very nice.
Mom and Dad. Terrible film. Super fun.
I haven't seen that one either. I'm not good at movies. I'm not like a movie buff. I'm like the opposite. I have to like really I watch so few movies, and I feel like I should change that.
The older I get, the more I feel like, oh man, I'm just wasting so much time right now.
Is that just where I am now too? Now that I'm like into my 30s, like is that just what we do?
I don't know.
now?
I don't know. Like, oh, I should be doing this. Like, I always feel guilty. Like, as long as there's daylight. Like, thank God I'm in Minnesota. So winter is like 11 months long, and you only get like 7 hours of daylight. So you're at work 8 hours, so you feel like super accomplished anytime that there's no sun up. So, don't have to do anything. I already did stuff.
Nice. Just catching up on a little bit of the chat. Thank you guys so much for all the subs and the bits coming in so far. Looks like we're on a bit of a hype train. We're already level 2.
Ooh.
So
Hype train. What?
I'm gonna completely blame that on Langelandia because obviously he's here and that's why people should be subscribing anyways because Langelandia is an absolute treasure, and we'll talk more about him momentarily when we actually start the stream. But shout out to Upas of course for that tier 1 sub. It says hi Jeff. Actually, he yells it. It's all caps. So
Tasty.
Hi, you boss!
there you go. Appreciate that. J Chef donating 500 national treasure bits.
Yes.
God, that movie
Yes.
is so bad. Man.
Okay, so real story. I actually skipped work to go to the premiere of National Treasure 2 Book of Secrets. I actually skipped work. And I was like, I got locked out of my apartment. I can't change. And they covered my shift.
I completely believe that.
I'm not making that up at all.
Daft Prophet, also with a tier 1 sub, says, hey, you guys. Sub,
Hey,
man.
you guys.
Ooh,
Look at that. There's so much fun stuff going on right now.
The hype train just keeps
Hi,
going.
friends.
Yeah, this is all because of you.
Level 2 complete. Doop, doop. That's 2.
This is why I bring on guest hosts, just so people will
very
donate.
Oh my god.
You guys
Yes,
caught me.
Mondo,
You guys caught me. That's
imagine.
the real reason. Snakes on a Plane? Nick Cage isn't even in that movie, is he?
No. Nick Cage is not.
Very nice.
Gondo says Lord of
Departed
War. Lord of
religion.
War is pretty solid.
Lord of War, solid film.
Oh man. JT
Man.
Jet and Mac Mutant. Thank you so much for those subs, guys.
Ooh, very nice.
Look at my hair. I've got like...
Live. What's up, y'all? We're struggling to to do things properly is what's happening. That's what's up. Where this is going to be this is going to be a
zero proper things will happen while I'm on this stream.
Yeah. Is it 6 yet? Oh yeah, 4 minutes left. Okay, we can still be silly.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty casual.
Someone clip that where I'm doing this because it looks really bad. I just watched it back. No, it looks really bad.
Don't worry, it's amazing. It's all amazing. Mermoth just donated 100 bits. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the bits. Iwane gifting 5 tier 1 subs, man. You do that way too often, man. You're way too nice.
It's because he's the boss and a great person.
He is a boss, and he's a great person. You're right. You're absolutely right. Tiny Shiny Crumbs says "Ope."
Oh.
Okay, I need to know the history because I don't understand the name.
Okay.
We're referring to Kalanopes, of course.
Yeah, Kalanopes. So
which is the new premier streaming channthis that Langelandia.
and I am me, you are you, and Tiny Shiny Crumb. It's the 3 of us. So there's this phenomenon in the Midwest where when you get near to bumping in someone, or you feel like you've made a slight faux pas or done something on accident, you go, oh. Like when you almost bump into someone coming off the elevator, people in the Midwest very much go, oh, sorry. Like, so she and I are in the Midwest, and so we say, oh, a lot. Yeah. And I am me, you are you. Josh is in California, so we have Cal and Opes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I like it. That's funny.
Are we doing mail call? I know Lang got some mail.
We can do a quick mail call, please, Lang, as our guest host today. Show us some of the cool things you might have gotten in the mail.
Yeah, so this one is hard to take out of the case, but it's so fucking heavy. I got my FE in. I got my iron FE in, and I have to use.
You got your iron FE?
Yeah. So that got into on Tuesday.
Ooh,
what?
That is hot.
I was gonna build that tomorrow, on stream tomorrow night. God, it's so heavy. But I got a second thing in that I'm building tomorrow instead, and it's super special.
Ooh.
I'm very excited.
Okay.
I literally just giggled or squeaked. So
do you want a drum roll?
I'm excited. No, we don't need a drum roll. People know about it. I've posted on the socials.
Oh, okay.
It's a known thing. A polycarbonate iron 165.
Okay. Excuse me?
Oh yeah, that's what's up. That just happened. Girl!
How many of those exist? Like,
I think
just the one?
10, and that includes B-Stock or Protos. It was a Proto thing where they were like, we want to figure this out. And I was like, I will purchase one. Thank you.
Which one are you building first?
I'm going to build the PC because it's the rarer of the two, which is wild because the FE is a mostly copper $900 board.
Well, I mean, the FE is like super cool, but like I think the PC version is actually going to be more interesting. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Last mail thing was I forget the name, but it was the sale that CYO Caps did, Equality Matters, for Black Lives Matter donations.
Heck
so
yeah.
That came in as well, which I was very excited for. Cool caps and money goes to a good place. Heckin' yeah. Mail call done, and it's on time.
That was so the reason I like to avoid mail call is Jay always embarrasses me during it because he always gets like the coolest shit. And I'm like, hey, like, maybe I can show off a little bit. Because I don't usually get, like, super high-end, like, epic shit a bunch of, like, every day, like Jay and a lot of other people.
And Pretty in Pink came in, too.
Ooh, nice. Shout out to Pretty in Pink. But, yeah, I was hoping with you on today, I might not be completely torn apart in the mail call. Not that it's a competition, but...
It's not.
Obviously, when you bring 2 rare iron 165 to the party, there's not much I could fight back with. But I do have something, which I'm actually really excited for because this is a little bit more in my wheelhouse. Leandrin over at Mekanisk was kind enough to send over.
Oh my god! We wore the same shirt.
Yes. Yes. That was not coordinated. I promise that was not coordinated.
I almost just passed out. I'm so excited.
He hasn't even seen my camera until the show started.
Oh my god.
That is amazing. All right, we'll have to take anything away from Mekanisk. Leandrin, super duper nice guy. He sent me. I haven't actually taken this out of the plastic yet, but he sent me an E-White Clippa S. So this is the slightly higher end, more mid-tier version. That's actually a 2-piece with I think either a sandwich mount or a top mount plate. He sent me a couple plates and a PCB. So we're looking forward to this. I kind of like the weight design on it. It's got some foam on the inside. Planning on doing a build stream with this within the next week or less. So very, very excited to test this one out.
Daddy's gonna watch that.
Sent me a nice little PCB with it too. I think this is a WT60D, which I've really been enjoying some of the other builds I've been doing lately. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Very, very happy.
Dude, the way that they package things, the way that they design things, it's also very clean and nice.
Yeah.
And it's just, they do a very nice job.
There's a reason I'm like on a journey to own all of the Mekanisk products.
All of the Clippa?
Well, just all Mekanisk products. I think I have everything so far. So
dude, when they posted the picture of that deep like aquamarine or whatever color of the stabs.
The ultramarine.
Oh,
yeah.
Ultramarine. Thank you.
Yep.
Ooh,
I'm about to pick up a few packs of those as well.
Well, thanks to me, I think we are now late to begin.
Well, you know what? That's just how the show is going to be casual today, guys, and I think everyone's probably okay with that. It's just kind of the way it is. Shout out to all the people that are subscribing right now. Zui, I'm finally pronouncing your name right as well. Thank you very much for that. Shows us a heart. Gotta love that. Warren and IP9. I know who you are, but I hate saying your username. You gotta. Can I just call? Wait, what's his studio name now as an artisan?
IP?
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I hate saying his username. Oh, Togepi. That's right.
Togepi.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's way
potentially the cutest artisan maker ever. They're just so adorable.
Yes.
Like
he's also an incredibly nice guy. I've met him. He's somewhat local to me, and he's been very, very nice to me in the past. So shout out to him and to Kelly.
The only artisan, in my opinion, which there are many cute ones. They're all lovely. Okay, so don't bring the hate. Okay. But in terms of cute,
hold on, wait.
jams. Oh my god, so cute.
I don't think I've seen the jam yet. That sounds a little new.
Oof. Jams, so cute.
Do I need to be looking into the jams? Apparently,
I mean, you should want jams. You should want jams.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ooh, Corby's cute too, but
Corby. Okay.
Not jams.
Is Corby the like the Kirby one?
Yeah,
okay.
The one that's like.
I like that as well. I'm so out of touch with artisans. So out of touch.
Yeah, I intentionally have like distanced myself because so much money. I every now and again I'm like must have, and then I'm like, well, I should back up.
Yeah, I couldn't be like one of those power collectors. Like I see so many people that it just seems like they join every raffle. It's like holy crap.
I mean, good for y'all.
You must be living life right because apparently I'm not.
I am an addict, and I cannot allow myself to do that. So I know my limits.
Fair enough. Responsible? Why? Who does that in this hobby? Oh my gosh.
Oh no! I just completely go full on into the alcohol portion, and then that way I'm good on keyboard stuff. So
Fantastic. All right, Noodle Flow, great username by the way. Thank you so much for that tier 1 sub. I'm gonna roll an intro and we're gonna actually get this show started. Believe it or not,
that's probably
guys.
smart.
I know. All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's episode of Top Clack. And I know it's going to be a bit of an interesting one today, but just bear with us. I am your host, Quakums, as usual, and I am not joined usually today by Jay, my lovely British co-host. Today, I have possibly even an upgrade, some might say. I have the man, the myth. Jay's gonna get mad at me. Jay's gonna yell at me for that one. I don't actually mean it. All right, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love you both. But we have Langelandia with us today, who has done quite a few things in the community as well. Most recently, been designing some key sets. Most notably, what is it? 808 Boom. I believe it's called.
Full partnership with Andy of CYO Keycaps. Just
nice.
Full disclosure.
Sure.
I cannot take a ton of credit on that. So.
Yes, but why don't you just give us a quick little backstory about kind of who you are, because maybe your face isn't quite as familiar to some of the viewers out there.
Yeah, so I'm a nerd, just like many of us. I mean, you're watching Keyboard stream right now, like call a duck a duck. I've been into mechs for a couple of years. About a year and a half ago, I was like, golly geez, I wonder if I could make a key set. And then I did, and that was Cafe GMK. And then I've done some other stuff. I just recently started streaming. We just a couple friends and I am me, you are you, and Tiny Shiny Crumb, also known as Josh and Kate. We recently started doing kind of a more instructional kind of talk show, just talking about certain topics of the community of what is a group buy, what's that all about. So, the few things. That's who I am. I've been to a few meetups. Hopefully I've seen and met many of you, and those I haven't. Hopefully I get to, because golly geez, I like networking and chatting.
I was lucky enough to meet you at the last summer Seattle meetup almost a year ago. So
we held hands, we had drinks. It was magical.
Those things absolutely did happen, if I remember correctly. So, take that how you will. But anyway, guys, we have a bit of an interesting show for you today. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different. We have Lang here instead of Jay, and I wanted to kind of do something a little bit different today from what we normally do. So obviously, we're still going to have a little bit of a news doc today. I didn't add a ton to it, but we are going to be covering some of the key set group buys and a few other things that have been going on lately. And then we're going to have just a little bit of a discussion, just a little bit before the Q&A segment. So after the news doc, we're going to have just kind of a brief kind of casual discussion. We're going to open up to the Twitch chat, and we're going to kind of just talk about the kind of current state of the community, some of the things that are happening, some of the things maybe we kind of expect moving forward, maybe some of the things we have some hot takes on. I don't know, maybe we can force some hot takes out of Langelandia. I know you guys would love that, because as the nicest guy in the community, we need some hot takes from you as well.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to pry real hard, because I have so few hot takes.
Twitch chat is gonna be able to pry, I think.
Oh, I have a feeling you'll get one or two out of me. Maybe more.
We'll get a couple. We'll get a couple. Dale Stale says, my favorite streamer who finally became as jaded as the rest of the old heads. How you doing, Quick? Oh, man. Am I...
Oh, Brian.
Oh, man. She's not wrong. I am a little jaded these days.
Yeah, I mean...
I've been doing this for a while.
Who could blame you? It's June, and 2020 has already lasted 73 years. So, like...
Oh, my God.
What do you want? Right. Like, it's only June.
Life is wild right now, guys. I'm sure you guys know that. A lot of us just have no real sense of normalcy these days, I feel.
It's exhausting.
And you're right, it is absolutely exhausting. Oh, man. Yeah, and I try not to be like... it's no joke. I try to be transparent. I've been really irritable lately, and I think a lot of people on stream have probably picked up on that. It's noticeable. I've been kind of mean, and I'm sorry. But Dale Sale is right. I'm a little bit more jaded than I used to be, and I think I'm starting to care a lot less about some aspects of the community than I used to. Colors being a big thing for me right now. I'm caring so little about key set colors, but that's what everyone in the community wants to argue about these days. And it's just like, I'll just go play some video games while you guys argue about what red goes with what burgundy, like...
It needs to be a warmer, less saturated red, actually.
I like keyboards. I like keyboards. I like typing
in your defense, we had talked about this prior to going live, dear viewers. And we had talked about a very specific thing where 3 years ago, when Top Clack first became a thing,
4 years.
Number one, the host 4 years ago. Number one, the hosts looked different. Number two, it was, all right, guys, here's the group buy for this quarter.
Here's the one key set happening.
Please,
this month.
please God, 100 of you buy it. Like, and that's when Clack was talking about the news. So now that you've got 27 interest checks a week, like, how are you supposed to not
let me just give you
burned out?
Jeff, let me just give you a frame of reference. When Clack was beginning and we started talking about news topics, we would struggle really hard to find enough content to talk about throughout the stream without like rambling about one topic for basically eternity. Now we don't know how to cut down topics fast enough so the show doesn't cross 3 to 4 hours every single week.
Yeah.
That's the difference between 4 year ago Clack and present day Clack. And man, times just change, and sometimes, so do the structures. And I think moving forward, Clack might have to shift the way we do some things. And I've been thinking about it. I've been putting some brain power to it. Believe you me.
Do you want a segue for the ages? I know it's out of order, but I remember when the GMK flood began, and it was right around the time that Mizu was in group buy for GMK. And I think we have a very similar topic on the news document today to talk about. But first, obviously, sponsors, right? Or is that at the end?
Well, that's towards the end. We usually...
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help.
I appreciate it. I think you were doing a stellar job as a guest host, honestly. But no, we usually do the sponsors after the news doc, but before the Q&A. So I'll probably just do it then, just for the sake of consistency. Basically, what'll happen is we'll talk about key set news and stuff, and then I'll say, hey, now we're going to start a little bit of a discussion after we talk about our sponsors for a moment, or something, cheesy like that.
Fair.
And then we'll talk about that, and then we'll do a little bit of discussion, which will trail into a Q&A, and then we'll head out. After some mild hazing of Langelandia, of course.
I'm totally okay. That's fine. All right. What do you want to talk about?
Okay, well, first things first, I want to point out that just like every week, we are going to end the stream with a Q&A because I see quite a few questions in the chat as well. So I just want to point that out, guys. If you guys have questions, save those for the end because we have a dedicated section where we can answer those. And it makes the stream go just a little bit smoother. So the first thing we're gonna do is actually just roll it right into our news doc. Honestly, we're gonna talk about some news. And like I mentioned earlier, we don't have a huge news doc today. It's actually gonna be rather short. A lot of key sets going on this week as well. But then we're gonna be discussing some things after that. So starting us off this week, right off the bat, is the group buy for GMK Nord, another IDE themed key set. And before we talk about the kitting breakdown and stuff, I kind of want to get your thoughts on this, Lang. How do you feel about not only GMK Nord, but just the theme of all the IDE themed key sets that we've been seeing lately? The trend.
So full disclosure, I'm not a programmer. That's not my line of work. I don't work in this realm, so I don't necessarily connect with the IDE themes. Okay, so if I were to choose one key set of them, I think Nord is very close to the top. I like it a lot in terms of... I'm just always astonished at how many these sets sell. For me, they're not particularly interesting. I don't like different colored mod legends, so I'm not usually on that train. So I don't know. I like it a lot. I probably will not purchase it because it's just not my jam.
Yeah,
so I guess to answer your question, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a very similar opinion. I'm kind of the same way. I'm not a programmer either, so a lot of the inspiration for these IDE themes into the key sets is honestly a little wasted on me, but in the same time, just like with you, Lang, I agree with you on the colored mods. I like simple key sets. I don't like key sets that have, 4, 5, 6 plus colors. I think it gets a little convoluted. But with that said, I think this is actually one of the nicer IDE themed key sets.
I like it a lot.
I like it more than most of the other ones, even though it's still, the inspiration at least, is still a little lost on me. But it seems a little bit more subtle, a little bit more subdued than some of the other ones. But with that said, look at how well they sell. Solarized Dark actually didn't sell that well, but then on the aftermarket, it was very popular. Then Dracula sold what, 1,700, 1,800 units?
Well, with extras, it was a 3,000 kit.
3,000 kit sale.
Oblivion.
Oblivion
3000.
Oblivion's huge, yeah. So it's obvious that the community wants this, and we have so many programmers in the community that a lot of people they get behind this stuff, so they can keep supporting this kind of thing. So now, I have no doubts that this will do well along the same vein.
Well, so that actually is maybe a lead into a first hot take. I'm very interested to know how well this sells.
Hold up before
North America.
Before you do the hot take, take. let me just step back for a second, because it was only a few moments ago that you told me you weren't going to have any.
Very much kidding.
You weren't going to have any hot takes at all, and then we're on our first topic of the doc tonight, and you already have a hot take. This is amazing.
I was going to have fun.
This is exactly what I wanted out of Langelandia, and by golly, you are delivering.
I deliver.
So,
unlike UPS, I deliver.
Oh, so. Ain't that the truth? All right. Okay. So, anyway, sorry for the interruption. Please deliver your GMK Nord hot take.
No, so here's the thing, right? Like, there's already a bit of controversy around it because of the price drop that's already happened, right? So, as far as I understand, and I could be misspeaking, I'm sure chat will keep me honest, but I thought originally the base was going to be 135, but has been reduced to 125. And I don't know if that was like outside pressure or like a reevaluation of the popularity of it or something. But I'm interested to know what is around that. And I know that there is some hesitance around the North American vendor for this. I'm not going to comment on that, but I know that I've seen some chat about hesitance there. So I'm sure that it will be fine, especially with GMK being involved. But I wonder how many people are going to be put off by those concerns, to be totally candid.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we try to remain fairly unbiased and neutral here, so I'm not going to make note of the vendor status, of course.
No, I get it. I'm sorry, I'm already ruining everything.
No, you're fine. You're fine. People are going to make the choices they want to make, and at the end of the day, people that want to buy the set, they're probably still going to buy the set, regardless of that vendor or not. And also, there's what, at least 5 vendors here. So I mean, even if you if for whatever reason you really disliked one of the 5 vendors, you probably still could pick it up from one of the other 4 vendors, if it really bothered you. So I think that's almost a moot point at this stage. It doesn't matter like a whole lot to a lot of people, but it is something worth considering. I think some people may be put off by that. But
did you guys notice that? So he was very excited for me to have a hot take in the first topic, and then shortly thereafter said that point was moot. So,
well,
you should go into politics, buddy. Spinning it around.
There's a reason I'm a really, really terrible person, Jeff. You gotta realize this.
Oh God!
My gosh! But yeah, so you mentioned the price, which is kind of interesting. I actually didn't know it was supposed to have a projected price of 135. Now, obviously, I showed it on stream. I went to the site and it was 125 on the North American proxy. What prompted the price drop? And did anything change in the kitting?
I can't speak to that. I just know that it was 135 and is 125 now.
Fair enough. But I mean, like, unless there were other sacrifices made, I think most people are probably okay with the price drop. I mean,
could have been, but I thought it was like super recent, like just before the buy. So I don't.
Yeah, Ron DG says it was 135. I believe you. Yeah. I have no doubt. I'm curious. Though. Maybe someone in chat knows.
So since we're talking about the kitting, right, pricing and kitting and all that, how do you feel about the assembly kit? I know that this is something that is similar to what does
this set have?
Who does that? Tombre? Yeah, there's an assembly kit.
Yeah. It's usually I feel like you don't see it outside of drop too often, but
yeah,
I'm not an Ergodox user, and I never have been. I've tried it, and I'm sure it works super well for some people, and it's obviously a super awesome product. Has a really long lineage in our community. Honestly, it's one of the more popular ergonomic split options. It really is. And, if the assembly kits sell, why not do them?
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's where I stand on that stuff. I love a huge amount of compatibility. The one thing that always kind of sucks is if you're an Ergodox user or an Ortho user or a 40s or, sub 60 user, you spend more on plastic than your standard people, right?
It depends. If you're buying like a cat set, it's usually cheaper as a 40s
yeah,
user.
if
But
you're
a GMK,
if you're in cat or GMK
historically GMK is more expensive.
Yeah. Or sometimes you just flat out don't have compatibility, right?
Yeah.
And we were having an interesting conversation about this where, you know, if I'm a climber, right? This is maybe a bad example, but if I'm a climber and I take that sport to its absolute extreme, like there's a specific set of equipment that I have to purchase in order to achieve that extreme, right? Yeah. So if I'm a 40s user, if I'm an ergonomic user, if I'm an ortholinear user in our community, that's essentially the extreme position of that. So I mean, I have several boards that are sub 60%, where I'm happy to spend slightly more because I understand that it's less standard. So sure. I don't know. I always find that an interesting conversation because, you know, the Nord kit is what, $30 more or $25 more than the base kit, right? But again, that's catering to an extreme group. So
yeah, is the assembly kit more expensive?
Yeah, at least in North America.
That's kind of interesting. I wonder if that's not usually the case, right? Usually the assembly kit's cheaper, if I recall.
Maybe they priced it at a lower MOQ.
Well, that's right? Yeah, that's for sure as well. And also, just because a couple people in chat have been pointing it out, the assembly kit will also work for the Boardwalk PCB, which is that kind of ortholinear 60% that has the the kind of the 1.5 mods on the edge, but it's otherwise ortholinear. You could totally outfit that with the assembly kit. So that's another option as well. So just throwing that out there. But let's take a look at some of the rest of the kits. So just going back to the base kit real quick. It doesn't have a numpad, so they have cut that out. And maybe did the original base kit have a numpad? Because I think maybe that's if you launched a base kit at 135 without a numpad, that would probably anger a lot of people. And maybe that's what prompted the price drop. That's speculation for me, obviously.
You're also up against certain other sets on larger vendors that are probably able to take price easier.
That's the thing, right?
That may also be the thing that has caused the drop, because I don't know if the numpad was ever in the base kit for this. Maybe a year and a half ago when it first went into IC.
It's true. It was IC
it's changed so much.
Yeah. So for $125, you're not getting the numpad, but you are getting a fair amount of support otherwise. You are going to get basic ISO support, all your HHKB, Sangon 65, 75 standard 7U kind of bottom stuff. Pretty standard stuff there, just kind of mainly missing that numpad. But at $125, I think that's about the upper limit of the price for a base kit like this, because a lot of times you see a base kit that's somewhat similar to this. It's usually closer to the $100 range or like $110 range. So, but then again, I don't really know what kind of MOQ this is priced at. If it was priced at $250 or $500, this price maybe makes a little bit more sense. If it was priced at $1,000, this could have been a $110 kit, perhaps. Obviously, it's kind of just speculation at that point. There's a spacebar kit, pretty simple, standard stuff there. You get a little convex goodness in there. There's a Nord kit.
It's in terms of the base kit, the only thing that I would personally change, and the Royal pointed it out before I could say it, is that there's no mod-colored pipe on it. That's personally how I like to do split backspace, so it's unfortunate
there's a mod
not
in it. In the base kit?
Mod colored row 1 pipe. It's
row
colored.
1.
Ooh,
I see what you're saying.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Yeah. I gotta disagree with you on that. I don't see why people use that. Why would you need that key?
Because I put tilde inside. But, so I mean, you can disagree. It's preference, right? But,
I mean, it is preference. But at that point, it's like why not change almost anything to your preference? Because I feel like most people use the tilde on the outside because that's how the HHKB layout is.
I know most people do. I'm not most people.
Oh no, and that's fine. I mean, obviously the hobby's all about preference, but it's like it's a hard thing to complain about, right? Because then it's like, why not change all these other things that you could change for only a handful of users? Because realistically, there's probably not an enormous populace in the keyboard community that use a mod colored pipe. And change their HHKB layout like that. I'm sure there are a few out there, just like I'm sure there's some US ISO users out there. Yeah, but I really do think that's quite a minority even within our niche. But with that said, maybe chat totally agrees with you. Maybe literally everyone uses mod colored pipe on the outside.
No one does, and the Royal's talking about it in terms of the assembly kit. So
okay,
we're less than 30 minutes in, and I've made a total ass of myself.
We've
So,
also been on
good
this
times.
topic for way too long. It's okay.
We
though.
have. We should move on. We should move on.
Yeah. So this is the group buy for GMK Nord, guys. There are quite a few kits. There is a numpad kit, obviously, even though there wasn't in the base kit. You can still pick that up. There's a novelties kit, which I actually think is pretty nice. I kind of like that. Even get the Vim keys in there. Then, of course, the assembly kit, like we were talking about earlier, and all the other normal kind of goodness that you see for most key sets. Collaborative stuff. I like the decimats actually quite a bit on this set. The mountains, very, very nice.
Yeah, they are good. They are good.
All right, let's go ahead and move on over to the group buy for GMK Boneyard. Can you pronounce this username one more time? Because I remember you tried it a few moments ago, so I'm kind of curious.
Which one?
The username for I don't want to say it because...
Tombray?
Oh,
right?
Okay. You said it differently a few minutes ago, so I kind of...
I think I said Tombray, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I wanted to hear you say that again, so I was trying to set you up, but you caught me. It didn't work. You were a little too good about that one. But
savvy.
Yeah, GMK Boneyard. Once I think it was kind of an extension or add-on or a supplementary kit for a previous run of GMK Carbon, round 2, if I recall. Now kind of being shot out and kind of into its own territory. So this is the group buy for GMK Boneyard. It's the standalone Boneyard base kit there. So how do you feel about this? I don't know. Were you a fan of Carbon? Do you like this more or less?
So I prefer this to Carbon. I'm not like a huge orange fan, like a ton of orange. I like accents and that kind of stuff. But this for me, I mean, it's good. I like it a lot. I don't know. It's a different nines, right? And honestly, I would probably be way more into this if it still had row 5. And I know that there's some conversation around that too. But I mean, it's a good set. Anyone that buys it is going to be very happy. I know it looks good on several boards. I've seen it in person. You know, I think it looks great. It's just not my jam, you know?
Yeah, totally fair. Neb yelling at me for the links in chat. Usually Jade does the links,
Oh, Neb,
so I'm trying to get used to it.
Neb, I know this predates 9s. I am well aware that this predates 9s, for the record.
Yes. How? Well, yeah, it does predate 9s. Absolutely. So, yeah, I don't know. I honestly like the way it looks. I think it's a good looking set. I wasn't a big fan of Carbon. I got to be honest. I was never a big fan. The GMK version. I actually thought the SA version, before the GMK version came out, SA version I thought looked absolutely sublime. And when I was kind of entering the community back then, that was like the hot set. People were paying like $600 for SA Carbon.
Yeah.
You know, that was like one of the things. So I feel like there's kind of some lineage there as well. But I think it's fine. It's a nice base kit. $120 as well. You get the numpad in there.
Yeah,
you get basic ISO. You don't have to worry about mod-colored pipe because it's a monochrome set. So, you can't complain about that. Langelandia, easy peasy. And because it's a monochrome set, you obviously don't need quite as many keys in the base kit. So despite how it looks, this is actually a pretty decently kitted base kit. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I like seeing that. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Was that ISO novelty, that drawing, or that artist novelty illustration, was that in the original round of Boneyard?
I don't think so. I don't think
in the novelties kit, because I know that there were some of those novelties, but that one with like the tentacles in the skull, I think I like that a lot personally, but I'm interested to know if that was in round 1.
It's kind of like a Cthulhu type thing. I don't know. Someone in chat. I don't think it was, but someone in chat will probably.
Yeah, I'm getting a nope.
Fireworm says nope.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
It was only on the caps lock. Oh, okay.
Got it.
So
okay.
Yeah, I feel like the ISO novelty, I feel like is kind of a newer thing, because like you look back 2, 3, 4 years ago, like that was never like a thing. But like there's so much real estate on that cap, like why not play around with it? Same thing with the you
got a lot of real estate. Use it up.
Yeah. Same with the vertical like numpad enter here on the row 4.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
That you don't see. Like you don't see that very often at all.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to be fair, I mean it's still they're a little too much for me. I wouldn't use these novelties because it's just a little too out there for me. But like I totally get it and I respect what they are and I think they're good novelties. Yeah. And I like the Dominoes kit as well, which I think this was all. We also saw something similar to this last run, I believe.
Yeah, there were Dominoes. I remember I'm surprised I got Dominoes in an SA grab bag, so it must have been a part of SA Carbon as well. At least maybe not in this color scheme, but I don't know.
I'm surprised he's not running a salt cap.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Boneyard colorway to go along with either the novelties or like the Dominoes kit or the base kit or something. Just like, because I feel like the salt keys really make a lot of the sets that he's done.
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff. Anyways, that's a group buy for GMK Boneyard, guys. There are your proxies there. Quite a few of them. So yeah, not too bad. Let's go ahead and move on to GMK Midnight Rainbow. This is a group buy.
Jay's not here. Time to shit on it. All right.
Yeah, I mean, Jay won't talk about any of his own stuff.
I know.
Like,
I know.
I'm just like, Jay and I actually like argue about this a lot too, because he's like, I don't want to sound like I'm shilling, and I'm like, the show is literally about information. The fact that it's done by you is like irrelevant. Just be neutral about it. Give the details of the product. Like, that's all that we need to do. Like, you don't have to like shill. Like, it's fine. But anyways, Midnight Rainbow. This is quite an interesting set. So a lot of you maybe newer people in the community might not remember, we had GMK Rainbow ran 2016, 2017. GMK Rainbow ran, and by golly, that set was very controversial. Okay, so basically in the Western community, so many people hated it. Almost everyone hated it. It did not sell very well in the West. It was a very, very rainbow, very vibrant, vivid set. Very colorful. A lot of people taken aback by it, and I was one of them. However, in the Eastern communities, GMK Rainbow was super popular. Just goes to show you that, sometimes that kind of stuff happens. And here we're getting a slightly different take. So instead of the like more in-your-face colored rainbow keycaps for like the actual base cap, he's just going for the shift in the legends here of the colors. So kind of a different approach here. This is a lot more subdued than GMK Rainbow is. So maybe a little bit more interesting. But I'm curious to know your thoughts, Lang, on how you feel about a set that's still this colorful.
So it's funny because early on in the show, I mentioned that I dislike multicolored mod text. Like, that's not a thing that I'm into. I do not know why, but I am in love with this. I think that this is a super clever way to get the rainbow effect, and I love the way that the kit is broken down so that there's nice banding of all of the colors together. It doesn't seem like one overtakes another too much. There's great compatibility. Obviously it supports full UK ISO because it's
surprise.
Jade. Big surprise.
Yeah,
and then also like the secondary kit. The secondary kit too is just like, here's the two kits, y'all.
Yeah.
Buy it or don't. Like,
well, yeah, I mean,
I love that.
Yeah, when you have an approach that it's only two kits and your other kit is just a very simple Spacebars kit with an Alice B, your base kit has to bring it. In this one, it does. It has a lot of compatibility in there, so I like that a lot. With that said, I gotta be honest, I'm still not in love with the rainbow colorways. I didn't like it in GMK Rainbow, and I like it more here, don't get me wrong, just because it is so much more subdued. But to me, it's still more of a novelty. It's more of like a gimmick kind of thing. I wouldn't really use this set per se, but I might put it on a board and put it on display on a shelf. Because it looks cool, and it draws your attention in, especially to people that maybe aren't really in the community, but still not really a set for me, I gotta be honest.
That's fair. So since I'm being fair, the one critique that I will give this is I personally would have preferred the second B to go into the base kit, specifically from the standpoint of I'm someone that doesn't care necessarily about the legends on the space bars of my Alice layout. And I can make an Alice work with just the base kit if I don't care about that.
Yeah.
And knowing that Spacebars kits sell crazy well no matter what you put in them, I would have personally preferred the second B to be in the base. But other than that, I have zero qualms with the set, and I know that it's getting my money. So, I mean, it's enjoy it. I'm buying it.
That's fair. All right, I'll probably take a pass on buying the set. However, I really like the desk mats. I think I'm going to pick up both of these desk mats. The
mats are so good.
This one in
Which
particular.
do you prefer?
The top one, the Constellation. I like both of them. I really do. But
it feels the Midnight Rainbow, the second one, the bottom one, feels more like. Do you remember when I was a kid, we used to have books we used to have books where that would come with this weird like triangular shaped pen that you could roll over a piece of word text and it would read to you, or it would play a sound. And it reminds me of that very specific memory. And I love it for that. So I'm going to spend way too much money on this thing.
That's fair enough. I didn't really have that experience growing up, so I can't relate to that. But to me, this kind of feels like I don't know, more like kind of like an '80s kind of after dark kind of thing, kind of like a laser kind of show. I don't really know how to put it, but just it kind of feels like an '80s, maybe '80s '90s kind of nostalgia, maybe like a cartoon, like the more you know text, you know, or something like that. It just, I don't know. I feel it. I feel the vibes. So I think I'm going to be picking up both these death mats. I can hear you typing.
For those,
I feel like you're searching for something.
For those of you that are curious, it is Questron Pen books, and I will copy an image and I will post it into the chat. This was my life as a kid. Boom, right there. So
nice.
Anyways, yes. Now that I was able to figure that out, we can move on.
Yes, fantastic. Neb, also thank you for the link. I'm trying to get better at it. Usually Jay does it, so I'm trying to work it into the rotation. But yeah, loving the death mats. Definitely gonna pick those up. And yeah, apparently I hate Jay because I'm not buying the set. So
how dare you?
I only made that joke because someone in chat said it as well. But yeah, so that's GMK Midnight Rainbow, guys, and that's going to end on June 26th. So you still have a little bit of time to get on it. Also, I like the renders on the lodestone. I'm looking forward to that, Lord.
There's a render that's like top down from a dude typing, and I'm like, how is that a render? Like, it looks so good. So, I mean, as always, super great. So
people are getting good at renders these days. Some of them starting to blur the line a little bit, I feel, on some of the renders.
It's frustrating that you can't tell. Like,
yeah, I'm looking for like dust and dirt, and I'm like, what the?
And then
like
so
Rama
then when
puts,
someone
like,
takes a really
fingerprints.
fantastic picture, like when Quir takes a really amazing picture, I'm like, I know it's a picture because it's Quir, but is that a render? Like,
Quir is without a doubt like one of the best photographers in our community, and it's pretty wild, yeah. Pretty freaking wild. All right, guys, moving over out of GMK territory a little bit, we're going to talk about KAM. We don't really see as much KAM lately. This is a group buy for KAM Ghost, and what's really kind of interesting about this one that I like is that it's actually going to be using the matte PBT dye sub versus the more shiny slick PBT that we saw from the popular KAM set Starry Nights. So I got to be honest, while I thought the kind of shiny finish was cool, it's not really for me. I do prefer the feel of the Keyrated PBT, both in Cat and in KAM, and because of that, I'm going to probably be picking one of these up as well. But how do you feel about the Ghost set? It's kind of an interesting colorway, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. Like, I think it's fun. You know, I mean, so
it's different.
I'm curious. I have questions about like production time of something like this, knowing that it's the same as Cat. So, like, you know, is this going to be 2.5 years before we get it because there's so many Cat sets being produced right now? But I'm still going to buy it, and I'm going to shut up and I'm going to wait because I want it. Even though, I don't know, I still waffle as whether I'm going to buy it or not, because typically I am not a uniform profile person. Typically I don't like it.
Same. But
the Ire poetry kit like sells me. Like, I think it's so clever. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good looking set, honestly. One of the things I like quite a bit about it that makes it a little bit more unique is, and he says it somewhere in the thread too. I was trying to look for it, but I forgot exactly where I was in the thread. But like, so basically he talks about how there's like low contrast sets on the market, like black on black, or like, you know, black on dark gray if you want to be that guy or whatever. But you don't really see a whole lot of low contrast sets of lighter colors, and you know, it's kind of nice.
And you know what? Shout out to him on this IC because of immediately addressing that with being able to print a test page to get a rough idea of what that contrast is going to be. That's clever. That's a good idea, and I think we will probably see that more.
Yeah,
so I think that was a nice touch.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this. I'm not 100% sold on the font. I think the legends are maybe a little bit too large for me personally, but I totally see where they're going with this, and I think it is very fun. It's kind of playful. It's unique, and because of that alone, I very, very, very much appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's, maybe this will be the uniform profile I love. Yeah. And I'll buy it because of this.
And the cool thing, and also the cool thing about KAM is similar to Cat. It's not going to really break the bank either. You can outfit a lot of boards for well under $100 here. About $80 or so is going to be able to outfit a lot of 60%, TKLs, and things of that nature, and it won't cost you a whole lot more to get more than that, honestly. So I like it because it's more affordable. It just lets more people buy keycaps, and that's not a bad thing.
I do very much agree. And selfishly, if this is down the line in the production, I know that the factory will have figured out any kinks that they currently have in their production.
We could hope,
so,
right? Yeah.
I mean, I trust. I typically am a truster. I'm going to trust that they're going to have that right.
Yeah,
so
I'm kind of the same too.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people in the community very much not.
Well, I mean, the community's been burned a lot, so
that's fair too.
But, I mean, it's weird. It's weird that we're a community that's built so much on trust, but there's so many things where you're like, well, this group of people didn't get anything. We're like, I'm going to trust you for 9 months, and that's me as someone who's run group buys with vendors before. You're like, yeah, see you in a year. So, Anyways.
Yeah. It's a weird.
Before we get down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, come on. I know, man. Yeah, so they have an estimated shipping date of January 2021, which would honestly be
that's a pretty good turnaround.
That's pretty generous. I wonder, does KAM have a faster turnaround than Cat, or would it be the exact same? Do you think?
I guess I don't know intimately how much the production setup is, because obviously they're different molds because they're different shapes. Do they have a completely separate line for that? Like,
well, KAM is.
Do they change out the molds? Like,
yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know. Maybe we could talk more about that later. But anyways, back to the actual group buy for KAM Ghost. It is open right now, guys. It's been open for a few days already, and it closes on July 3rd. So you still have a little bit of time to get in on that. And, of course, there are your proxies. So many proxies these days. It's always interesting to see. Like, I feel like so many key sets have, like, 5, 6, sometimes even 7 proxies. Very accessible, regardless of where you are in the world, almost these days, to just pick up key sets. For,
well, and I mean, if you're willing to handle the logistics of it, like, there's no reason why you, in my opinion, shouldn't try and offer as an inexpensive experience as possible to be as inclusive as you can, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, absolutely. All right, guys. So that is KAM Ghost. Let's go ahead and move over to some more PBT in a more traditional profile. Cherry, of course, is the group buy for EnjoyPBT Classic Retro Cyrillic by Enigma, and this is almost kind of a throwback because this was not exactly like this, obviously, but this was one of the first sets that I was able to get. One of the first aftermarket sets that I bought. Back when EnjoyPBT was like first a thing, the kind of classic beige colorway with the red sub-legends, the Cyrillic, this to me it very much embodies this kind of community, just because this was a very nice memory for me when I was entering the community. So I'm kind of glad to see something like this running again. But with that said, let's be real. It's not terribly interesting. It's EnjoyPBT. It's the classic retro beige colorway that we all know, that a lot of us pretty much love. And you kind of get some Cyrillic sub-legends there. So, yeah, before we talk about the kitting, how do you feel about this? Are you a fan of just beige?
I think it's great. It's really hard to screw up classic stuff.
Right.
Like, in my, I mean, if the reason it's classic and has stayed around for so long and is still desirable is because it looks good. Like, objectively, there is nice balance to it, right? So, I won't be using the red accents personally, but I mean, yet another freaking thing I gotta buy. Like, it's so dumb.
Rip your wallet.
I mean, yeah, rip. It's
yeah. The one cool thing about this though is compared to when I was newer to the community, you get significantly more compatibility out of a base kit like this.
Yeah.
So this
Especially
is, you know,
like, oh, it's so good.
yeah, this is a little bit more kind of a newer EnjoyPBT base kit approach. You get the numpad in there, you get full UK ISO support, as well as some accents and you know, a lot of the good compatibility that, you know, you kind of know and love. Split backspace, you know, stepped caps, all that kind of HHKB Sangon 65-75% stuff. They even have the colored win keys. I'm actually a big fan of those.
Which
even
is,
they only have them in the 1.25
cute.
though, which is kind of unfortunate there. I'm not a big fan of that. I wish they would have thrown some 1U Windows keys in there as well, with that same logo. But you know, maybe I just can't always get what I want. But it is nice to see kind of improved compatibility compared to a lot of the older sets that used to run of similar colorways. We got a lot of the newer ISO support in there, and it's nice to see accents too, because a lot of the EnjoyPBT sets that we see these days don't really have accents, or at least used to see, I should say. Other than that, let's be real, it's not terribly interesting. You've probably already seen this set before. You've probably maybe even owned this set already if you've been around for a few years. But if you hadn't, or maybe you want to, or you really like it, then this is available now. It's already in group buy, and I believe the base kit price is $99, if I recall. But I could be wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and quick check that. Yeah, $99.
Yeah, yeah.
So not too shabby. Not too shabby. Are you gonna pick one of these up, Lang?
Probably. I mean, if I'm honest with myself, I like PBT a lot. Yeah. I like I don't own a Cyrillic Sublegend set right now. I like the look of them, and I mean, you know, you can trust that it's not going to get screwed up, to be candid. So, I mean, I'll probably buy in.
Yeah, fair enough. Fireworm says CRP better IMO. Yeah, I probably like CRP. In terms of like actual typing experience, I think CRP is a little bit nicer than EnjoyPBT. But I had one of I had one of the CRP sets before they got fixed or whatever, so the stems were super loose. So while I enjoyed typing on it, I legitimately had caps that would fly off the board during normal typing. So like obviously that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, so 20 was here brings up a point. I was about to say I must own Arabic, and I completely whiffed on the group buy for the CRP. So pray to RN Jesus for me that I get that. But I would really like to see more Arabic sub-legends on caps. I think aesthetically they're very cool. So a personal preference. I love the Cyrillic. I also would like to see more, you know, Arabic kitting. So
yeah, I totally agree.
Anyways.
Arabic is definitely a language we don't see terribly often in our community on keycaps, and there's a lot of languages in the world that we don't see a lot, to be honest. So
yeah, there was some interesting ones. I just randomly was perusing a few days ago, and I saw that, you know, there's some like Sanskrit sets out there, and there's even like old kind of Gaelic Irish sets too. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. I wonder if there's an interest for that kind of stuff still.
This is one of the reasons I've been pestering GMK for so many months now about putting out a catalog of everything that they offer, which is coming, by the way.
Is it really?
It is. Oh. It's coming, which is amazing, and it's going to be a great tool for designers because they're going to be able to be like, okay, I want to use, you know, these sub-legends now and these colors or whatever that I didn't know GMK had, and that's going to be a really cool thing, and I hope it helps people out quite a bit.
Yeah, it would help navigate that process for sure.
And according to Neb, Nordbauer has an Arabic set coming up as well. Nice.
Ooh, well, gonna buy it.
Tommy Hong says I would buy Klingon. There's quite a few Klingon sets in the wild, actually. Well, I say that, but I mean there's quite a few of like a few different varieties of Klingon sets.
There is non-zero, which is important.
I believe they were available on. It's either KBDfans or Z Frontier like years ago. Top Clack has actually given out a few of the Klingon sets, but they're like cherry profile PBT, like they're fine sets, and they have Klingon on them. But yeah, but if you're a fan of Klingon, you should definitely look into those sets because on the aftermarket, I think they go for like super cheap because even in retail they sold for like $60 or $70, and I don't think they were very popular. So I imagine even on the aftermarket, it's probably like a $40 or $50 set tops.
That is really inexpensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's a cherry profile like PBT set. Like there's nothing, you know, particularly wrong with it either. So die sub.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. That's EnjoyPBT Classic Retro Cyrillic. Nothing new, but always nice to see an old favorite. And let's go ahead and move over to drop for a couple group buys that some people might be really interested in. Obviously, I think we covered the interest check last week or the week before. But Red Samurai, a full run, has been in the works for a while. Obviously, they did a full run years ago. And Drop's been kind of doing this thing that I'm not a really big fan of, where they've only been releasing GMK Red Samurai with compatibility for the boards that they sell. But you know, they have told us in the past that GMK Red Samurai was coming back for a full run eventually, and here it is. So you can now get GMK Red Samurai again, and I believe I was kind of looking over it earlier, and it seems to be fairly similar to how it was in the first run, which is pretty nice. A lot of people like that. Lots and lots of kitting options, so depending on how you want it to look, you're going to have quite a variety to work with here. Base kit's going to start at $125. It's not too bad. Compatibility, honestly, pretty solid here. You get a lot. You even get the Alice B and some convex split spacebars, and numpad, and basic ISO support, and lots of other things in that base kit for $125. So that's Drop flexing that they're able to sell this, or at least buy out that. You know, it's just the way it is. When you're that level of vendor, you're often able to sell things at a lower price. And, you know, because of that, we're getting treated to a pretty full base kit here for $125. So I kind of like seeing that, regardless of how you feel about Drop. But if you're one of the people that were waiting for this, then here it is again. And simultaneously, I'm not going to treat it as a different topic, just because it's so similar. But simultaneously, for the same price and with similar kitting options, you can get GMK Blue Samurai. And this is a little bit newer. This is kind of the fresh take by Red Suns and Drop. So you get a little bit of variety here as well. So whether you want Red Samurai or Blue Samurai, you're kind of going to get that option. How do you feel about Red Samurai, though? Are you into this stuff?
It's not for me.
Not
like,
for you?
And I feel like I say that a lot tonight. So I do genuinely like a lot of sets. I think this looks good in certain context. I think I'm a bit jaded because, you know, when I first kind of moved my group experience to Discord a little over a year ago in terms of the mech world, that was like, think 6.5 early days, and everyone under the sun was obsessed with Red Samurai, and I'm like, I just kind of don't get it, like why it's such a fervent obsession. I mean, I think it looks fine. Like, I don't dislike it. It's just not something that I want to spend $125 on.
Yeah, that's fair. And it wasn't that long ago. It was only a year, maybe two tops.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it was selling on the aftermarket for so much. This set almost rivaled GMK Olivia on the aftermarket for a while. Obviously, I know Mech Madness 2019. GMK Olivia was the most popular set, if you guys remember, and then I think number 2 was GMK Modern Dolch. I could be forgetting that one, but I think 3rd was actually GMK Red Samurai. It was very, very high up there. It was one of the most popular sets for quite a while, and people were paying double, triple. I think I even saw people paying money, like quadruple for some of these kits on the aftermarket. It was outrageous, and then like everyone stopped talking about it. It just kind of like fell off. It feels like, and now we're getting another run of it. So, I mean, it's good for the people that want, you know, that like the set and want it at an affordable price, because now they're actually going to be able to get that. So a lot of people, you know, maybe going to be benefiting. Nebula does say drop run it endlessly. That's true, which we did mention earlier with the alternative kind of kits that only support those boards. But, you know, in the sense of like keyboard enthusiasts like us that spend all day on Discord and buy lots of GMK sets and use the high-end customs, we're not buying those. We're not buying the Drop Red Samurai kits that only support their boards. Most of us aren't buying those, let's be honest. Those are for all the people that are buying the boards with Drop, so they can buy them alongside. They get a bundle deal that's not terribly expensive, and they get exactly the keys that they need to support the board they just bought. It's a different target audience, and I feel like that, you know, you can't really say that the previous runs that Drop was doing with Red Samurai were like actual Red Samurai GMK runs, because they really weren't. This is a little bit more a la like a traditional GMK run, and this is what most people that we think of as enthusiasts are desiring. Because they want that. They want the compatibility. They want the slightly more exotic layouts that they actually use and love. So yeah, I don't know.
And just maybe this is a bit off topic, but just because this is the only set that we have on Drop, as far as I know, on the dock this week, I do want to give a quick shout out. I know that there's they can be kind of a controversial platform in terms of who they are in the community. I know that, and I always get this wrong, the MT3 double shot ABS caps, Susuwari, I think is how you say it. Oh, Susuwatari, thank you. I know that was supposed to ship like 17 years ago, but you know, they're finally about to ship if they have not already, and they sent out an email that was like, hey, we're gonna do 5 more MT3 sets this year, and you, for sticking with us this whole time on Susuwatari, you will get to choose one of those for free for us. So
that's awesome.
I know that they're going an extra length for those people that continue to be loyal, and they also have their rewards where you're starting to rack up some money, even you know, buying stuff. So I mean, I know that they're a bit of a divisive figure, but I do have to give them some props on this, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, totally. All right, so there you go, guys. Some GMK Red Samurai or Blue Samurai goodness, depending on who you are and what you're kind of into. Those are currently running until the end of the month, I believe. So, yeah, there you go, guys. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to an interest check that I'm actually... it's really simple and mundane, I'll say that right now, but I'm actually kind of happy about this. So this is the interest check for some cat blanks, and obviously cat blanks are nothing new. A lot of the sets that we've been seeing run, sometimes often even run alongside with some blanks at a reduced price. So I like seeing that, and the kind of theme here is very similar. So these are just some blank cat caps, some white caps. I believe the color is exactly the same as Cat Alpha, the first cat set that ran, which is kind of a creamy white that you're seeing here on your screen. And the cool thing about this is it's going to be cheap, $45.
I mean, I'm going to buy it.
$45, like, and you can try out.
I'm going to buy it.
Like, and you get. I mean, it's not amazing compatibility, but like you get a fair amount of compatibility, all things considered, for $45. Obviously, it is going to be some slower shipping. It is, I believe, this is a Canadian vendor as well, so you're probably going to be paying $10 or $15 US for shipping. But with that
said,
they
even point out that you don't pay additional because it's below the declarable value for taxable goods going out of Canada. So,
yep, definitely worth counting. But for a $45 base price, like, it's kind of hard to hate on that, right? And like, you can try out Cat without breaking the bank, way under $100 price point, and you can outfit a decent amount of layouts, all things considered. Depleted Vespian says it's short 2 alphas. That's probably fair.
Oh, for certain reasons.
How
is it short 2 alphas, though?
Wait.
It shouldn't be short 2 alphas. You'll have to tell us where, because there's alphas in the below, and then also you can use the numpad alphas if you don't use numpad.
Yeah, I need the elaboration on this one. What are we missing the caps for?
Yeah, because I see multiple ISO replacement alphas down at the bottom. Yeah, so I think it's... I don't see an issue. Maybe split backspace? But you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, they're blanks, so you don't need duplicates for every cap, obviously.
Yeah, so you wouldn't...
So, this key would function the same as the pipe would in a normal keyboard. Oh, Link. Sorry, guys.
Darn it. And I had been so good about getting them, and I missed this one.
Have you? Have you done any of them yet?
Yeah, I've gotten the last, 2 or 3 topics.
Oh, have you? Oh, you're a god.
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
Maybe you're short 1, row 1 if you need a complete full size.
But there are no extra 1U split backspace.
Yeah, so maybe it's short 1.
Why don't you?
Oh, I guess maybe they're assuming if you use split backspace and F13.
How? Yeah. Wait, how are you missing a split backspace key?
Because you only have 1 key to replace the 2U. If you're going to do a full size.
How many people use split backspace on a full size?
Look, maybe that's what he's saying. That's the only thing I can think of.
Because you would just use either of these, or why don't you just use this one?
Look, man, I don't know. I'm just trying to rationalize why he's saying that there's...
I mean, you have effectively 3 escape keys. Yeah. So, I mean, this would be your escape, this would be your tilde, and this would be another row 1 key. I'm confused.
Oh, man. Nothing but spicy with Jeff on the show here, guys.
I'm confused because I could build a full-size split backspace with this set. I don't know
How?
what other people are full size split backspace. So
Like a full 104 with F row, you would still be short if you took this exact layout, the top layout.
Oh, okay.
And just made split backspace.
Okay,
You would still need one row 1 cap.
That's fair. But still, how many people are putting split backspace on their full-size keyboard? I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that.
Chewy did split backspace on an Austin, but because it's a compact, you would have
that's
an R1
not a full
anyway.
size though. Yeah,
So it's not a full size.
Yeah, you can't. That's not comparable on an actual full-size keyboard.
No. Yeah.
How many times have you seen split backspace?
All one of you, and they're not going to change the kit for that. So.
Fireworm says no one. Tommy Hong says that one person. Iwade says there are dozens of us. I actually doubt that. I doubt there are dozens of people that build full-size customs with split backspace. I highly doubt that.
I mean, I split backspace TKL. I just hate stabs.
But that's not a full size though. You can do that.
I know it's not. I know it's not. I'm just saying. Stabs. Down with stabs.
Chewy doesn't like cats, so we're good.
No, he doesn't.
I know. Has Chewy? I bet Chewy has still never built a full size with split backspace. I would put money on that.
There's
I would absolutely
not many
put money on that.
full-size customs.
It's true. They're very limited. They're very limited, and people pretty much always use normal backspace for them because it just looks better. Let's be real. Split backspace looks goofy on a board that size.
Wow.
Personal preference.
Okay,
sorry. Personal.
We're
preference.
fighting.
We're fighting.
We're fighting.
Okay. Fisticuffs.
No,
Let's go. Sign me up.
All right.
Sorry,
it's cat,
my bad.
It's blank. It fits lots of boards. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's
topic.
It's $45 starting price, so it's not awful. It's not going to beat you up. It's not going to hurt your family. I think this is an okay set, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it.
I'll probably buy this like for people. Like I'll probably like buy this like for my girlfriend because she's been liking cat profile, but I don't want to give up my cat set that I have or any of the ones that I have coming in. So like I could just buy this for her and I won't have to worry about it.
I replaced one keycap, the delete cap, on my keyboard, and my wife was like, "Where's delete?" I was like, "So the blanks would never work for my wife." Like, I put one novelty on delete, and no.
Oh my gosh! All right, guys. So this is
Oh,
coming
depleted
actually...
Vespian, finally homing keys. He's just now said 2 alphas. The homing keys is what he's missing.
Keys? Oh, are those not homing by default?
I don't know, man. Maybe.
I'm pretty I'd have to go get my board. I thought they were homing by default on cat sets, but I guess I could be wrong. It'd be weird for them not to. I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. This is obvious. This is about to go into group buy, guys. This is actually going to group buy on June 19th, according to this thread. So we only have to wait a few more days before we get to see the final actual kit of this. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Oof! Tiny shiny crumb with the puns. Yep. That's
fighting like cats and dogs. That's
a good one. It's a good one.
Moving on.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on right after that one over to the interest check for SA 8010. I'm actually
8010.
I'm not familiar. I know, right? It's not 8008.
I gave the wrong link.
9009.
Ignore my link. I gave the wrong link.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I thought we were on nuclear data. My bad.
Oh no, I think that's next. That is next.
There you go.
Yeah,
Thanks.
We're on 8.
There we go. My bad.
God,
I'm bad at counting.
Worst co-host in existence.
Scuffed ass stream.
This is,
get out of here.
I'm not watching this. This is the worst. This is the worst stream I've ever seen in my life.
134 people just jumped. All right, moving on.
136 to 0, just like that. Let me show you how to do it. Anyways, this is an interest check for SA 8010 or 8010. I don't actually know the source material here. He does show a picture here by the legendary Hata, of course, who is a wonderful individual, super duper smart guy. He's one of the Input Club's designers / engineers, and this is a picture from him. But this is the inspiration. This is the source material. This is the Data Decision 8010 Key Punch keyboard. That this is based off of, and this is by Franco, and man, this is a pretty interesting set. I think the last time I saw a set this outrageous, it was called 808 Boom, and man, well, I was waiting to hit you with that one even before the show today. I gotta be honest.
Well done.
But with that in mind, with the inspiration in mind, how do you feel about this pretty interesting and very different set?
You know what? Like, I like that there's something new with this. I don't quite know if I want it, but at the very least, huge mad respect for how what I would assume is extremely correct on all of this. Like, it looks so good.
I'm glad you decided to put it that way, because I was struggling to think of a term to use that as well. This is one of those products where, like, this isn't for everyone. Let's be real. Obviously, this is a very different kind of key set. This is the kind of key set where if you're, like, really into the source material, the inspiration, the theme, this is going to probably be incredible for you. And if you're not, you might not care as much. And I think that's fine. This is going to be a very kind of niche, desired set, I feel like. But I think this could go pretty well.
It looks like, it really does look cool, right? My question is, what the hell do you put it on? Like, you know, I'm trying to think, what board do I put this on when I buy it? And I just don't know.
Not if, but
because
when. Nice.
Like, damn it, you're right. I'm probably gonna buy it. my language betrayed me there.
I'm used to all this stuff. Don't worry.
It vexes me. I don't know where to put it.
I want to say the Jur 80. That could be a good target for that.
Ooh, that's solid.
You know what's actually kind of sick? And they have it in the renders in this thread. The Atlas, which recently ran on Canon keys, honestly kind of looks pretty good on the ortholinear. I don't mind that. It's such an obscure and unique aesthetic, but I'm all about that because it's different. I like that. I like different.
Yeah, I like this. I do.
The more you look at it, I can see you. I can see you falling.
I mean, it
into
just continues to. No, because I also enjoy vintage a lot. I love context. I love history. You know, this cool keyboard. I keep looking at this key punch with the 3, switches and the weird shaped keys and the what appears to be a 37U space bar. I don't know. I think does it say where the price is on this? Or what they're expecting it to roughly be?
I didn't,
because if it's not $6 million, I might buy it. Like,
Well, I mean, I didn't see any pricing when I looked earlier, but I mean, we can kind of surmise just based on how past Signature Plastics SA sets kind of go that like it's probably going to be a little up there depending on what kind of kits you want. If you're one of those people that's like you're just going to buy like. I mean, the base kit's kind of different, right? Because normally with SA sets, we see, like, you get your alphas, and then you have your mods, and then you have your assembly and your 40s, and you wind up with, 5 or 10 or 15 or, like, 30 kits, not totally unsimilar to how we see Cat a lot of the days, or a lot of these days. So, you have kind of a different kitting structure here. You actually get, while it is immensely cut down, it's just standard layout, it is a base kit. So you do get your alphas in there, you do get your mods in there, just a very, very cut down TKL version. So obviously you'd have to buy that base kit. This base kit's probably going to be like $100 if I had to guess. If I had to guess. I could be wrong. And then, maybe you want, some extra compatibility. You're going to want the extensions kit. That's probably going to be like $40. So, it's not going to be a cheap set, but it'll probably be akin to how most SA sets are priced throughout the last year or two, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and it's rare. I say rare. Obviously, SA used to be king, but it's more and more rare for us to see a full sculpt SA set now. So I think that alone is important for this. So it's interesting. It's correct to the source material, and it's fully sculpted. So I mean,
it looks great. Like it really does.
I think it's a win.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if you're a fan of the vintage stuff and you just absolutely love the keyboard it's themed after, this could probably be really awesome for you. And I like the also nice touch here. They made the bottom row the same color as the spacebar, so that way it does look like you have that like can use spacebar or whatever it was on the previous board. So
very clever.
That's kind of like a little perception kind of thing. I like that.
I think the last thought too is some of us, me included, occasionally want people to be like, "What the fuck is on your desk right now?" Like at work.
Yeah.
So I think this is another like. I want people to talk to me about keyboards. God, please, I want more. So this is like, sometimes that's a way for me to engage people about it.
That's
They're
right.
like, what's Jeff got today? Like, there we go. So
what is this dork rocket on his desk this day? Yep, that's nerdy.
Yep, he's a fucking nerd.
Yep, walking away now. Old Jeff, gotta get away from him. But yeah, I think this could go over very, very well. I'm actually immensely curious to see how this could sell, because I feel like this could actually suffer even being a cool set that is like done well, just because a lot of like people might not be quite into it because it is pretty different. And if you're not really into like that particular thing, I think a lot of people are probably not going to like it a whole lot. But
I could see this being popular for people that are using that, like a TMO layout, right, where they're using the virtual numpad. It's a nice visual cue to say this is where my numbers are too. So I don't know. I think I like it. I like it. I'm gonna buy it.
There you go. It has the Langelandia seal of approval on it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and move back to our next topic, which I also know you're fairly excited about. This one coming to us from Heine Bush. This is the interest check for GMK Nuclear Data, one of the most iconic colorways in our community, I would say.
What's the name of this?
Nuclear Data?
Nuclear? Is that what she said?
Nuclear?
Yeah.
How do you want me to say it, all right? What accent do you want me to use? Just tell me, all right?
Well, it's not nuclear. You're not W. Okay, it's nuclear. Okay, moving on.
You and I are gonna have a talk later.
we already are fighting, so this is.
It's all in good fun, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, of course.
From Texas, I don't think I can do a Texan accent. I don't think I can do most accents. I'm actually terrible with accents.
Need to get a drawl. That's all.
Need to get a drawl.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anyways, let's talk about the actual set, because obviously, nuclear data. How do you is a colorway that it's been in our community for a long time. This is a set that dates back. Yes. I'm gonna open up this actual thread because this dates back to 2014. And I'm gonna take you through this too, because this is what a good group buy thread looked like in 2014. You didn't have like a bunch of real renders. You had basically KLE
and it was
stuff.
Uniform. I forgot that it was uniform.
Yeah, but this is an SA set that garnered a ton of attention. It is truly, truly one of the like iconic SA sets in our community. If you've been around a while, it has so much history behind it. And a lot of people don't really like it, and that's part of its charm as well. It's kind of a controversial set in a way, but we're bringing it to the GMK territory these days, which is kind of interesting because I always thought Nuclear Data looked really, really cool because of being an SA and being that kind of shiny classic SA finish. It kind of just invokes the. I'm gonna open up this as well because I think this is probably gonna kind of show you a little bit. It kind of invokes that vintage kind of vibe, that almost kind of war computer kind of thing, right? It's
a very Eastern Bloc, yeah,
it's kind of interesting. So I'm almost wondering how that's going to kind of port over to something like GMK, which can obviously get very shiny if you use it, but it doesn't start off shiny per se. But why don't you tell us your thoughts on this set?
So I'm very excited for this personally. I love Nuclear Data a lot. I thought that was a great set. I've said a few times throughout this whole conversation, I'm not a uniform profile guy. I'm usually a cherry guy, or like full sculpt SA, cat, that kind of stuff is great. So to see it in a sculpt, I think I would have preferred it in SA, to be honest. But I think it's a smart play to put it in GMK because that's obviously the preference the community seems to have right now.
Hot right now. Hot.
Yeah. It's a damn good base kit. Like, cannot be upset about that.
It is a good base kit.
The only thing that I kind of wish was that I could get the accent orange in the base. Like if I didn't want to spend what I'm going to guess is probably $50-ish on the novelty kit, I could have the accents. But other than that, like I think it's wonderful. Again, it harkens back to a vintage thing. I enjoy vintage a lot. Yeah, I mean it's an insta buy for me. I have to have it. So
all right, fair enough. Definitely looking forward to this one. Yeah, novelties, I'm okay on this. I actually think they're pretty good. You got a couple of text novelties in there. You got the activate even with the accent or non. I'm a fan. I'm think I'm going to be picking up the base kit.
Petrov pointed it out, the 3.6 novelty. What a fantastic shout out. Chernobyl that time, like, I mean, it's subtle, it's good. I don't know. I think it's great. So yes, you should buy it. You should all buy it. I will buy it.
This is going to do fairly well. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Yeah. Going along with the kits, just to round us out, there is a Spacebars kit, of course, just like there often is these days on GMK.
A good, healthy Spacebar kit. So
yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. So there you go, guys. That's GMK Nuclear Data. That's coming pretty soon-ish, I think.
You said it right the last time.
You said nuclear.
You said nuclear.
Nuclear.
Ooh, Neb. Good call. Row 5.
Oh,
completely glossed over that. Row 5. Love it.
Yeah, I kind of feel stupid for not saying anything about that. Good catch, Neb. Good catch. Yeah, row 5. Solid. We love that stuff.
Oof. So good.
Does anyone out there like really? I'm actually curious. I never thought about it. Does anyone out there just really dislike row 5 cherry, or row 0? I know a lot of people actually dislike row 0, but I feel like row 5 is pretty
row
widely
0
accepted.
Is as tall as the sky, so I get that. But
yeah. Oh man, someone ATXKB is trying to get me to say strategery.
Strategery. How are you gonna? Mr. President, how are you going to take care of that? Strategery.
Is that a word?
It is now. It is now.
All words are made up.
It became a word. Yes, all words are made up.
Strategery.
Strategery. Juby is curious about, can we explain row 5? It's a continuation of the sculpt from row 4. So it's slightly taller than row 4, slightly more angled. So it's making the sculpt longer.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's like a taller and more aggressive row 4, basically.
Row 5 equals R4 plus 1.
Yeah, so 5 is just 1 after 4.
Jesus, so good.
This is like the worst episode ever, and it's amazing.
I'm so not sorry at all.
No,
you guys are the ones that tuned in and stayed. So
no, Lag, you make things amazing as always. This is just fantastic.
It's so hot in here. Okay.
Sometimes it's okay for Top Clack to go back to the extra casual roots, where we literally just sat there and talked and bullshitted about keyboards for 3 hours.
Yeah, but I don't know about this professional, polished. I can't do that.
I try sometimes, and I'm just like, why? Just why? Like, it doesn't actually matter.
Petrov, if you write me a rap, I'll rap it for you. Okay? There we go.
Oh my gosh.
And on that, transitioning into a set that has me enraptured. Did it! Boom, that's a segue. Cat Monochrome.
Wow. Good segue. Boom. I appreciate that.
Boom.
I appreciate that. So, yeah, so the interest check for Cat Monochrome by Jade Saints here. And, of course, this is the follow-up to the GMK version, which actually flew under a lot of people's radar. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that GMK Monochrome actually exists because GMK Metaverse kind of overshadows it a bit. But GMK Monochrome was actually a very nice-looking set. Very, very simple, just black and white. Looks very similar to this, but, of course, in GMK. And now he's bringing it over to the Cat profile. So pretty happy about this. I mean, what's not to like? Cat profile, black, white. I mean, it's very simple, very iconic. One thing that worries me a little bit about this, just because this is very similar, well, kind of similar in some ways, to a set that we checked out recently, also in Cat profile called Refined by I'm blanking on who it was. I think Max Surfy?
It was Surfy. Yeah, it was
Okay,
Surfy.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so obviously Refined, definitely a little bit different. It does have the different alphas, but other than that, kind of a similar set being IC'd at the same time. So kind of interesting to see that, but at the same time, like, it's kind of a controversial argument, right? How many black and white sets are too many? And is there ever really too many?
I don't think.
And are you ever really copying anyone in a black and white set?
No. I mean,
yeah, let's be real. Probably not.
Yeah, it's hard. The thing that's surprising to me, so I'm sure, based on this IC, I'm sure that Mr. Saints has been working on this for a long time. If I'm Jay Saints and this IC gets posted, my heart and Refined gets posted, and I know that Surfy worked forever on that too, especially since he had to learn how to render cat and like all this stuff. Like my heart just sinks because it is very similar, right? And especially since Refined, when I think of Refined, I think of that like classic aristocracy and top hats and monocles and yes, well. So to see these kits that are like, these novelties, where there are like monocles and pocket watches and pikes and beards and yes, well, my hat. If I'm Jay Saints, I'm like, oh god, really? Like
it feels oddly timed, right? Just because of Refined. And if they happen to run too close to each other, they really could start to compete for each other in sales, which is not always what you want. It's okay to run black and white sets. You're not really copying people. Like, it's fine, but you do have to spread them out, obviously.
Okay, so I know it's cat, and I know we're used to this, but holy Jesus, there are so many kits.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm not actually scrolling down right now.
The reason that I was like, I was going to say things like the novelties in that kit, I was still scrolling up. I was like, okay,
this is one of the longest threads I've ever seen on.
It is
on Keycap.
Wild.
I'm like not even close to halfway through this page, and I've been scrolling for like a minute.
It's insane. It's crazy.
It's actually, this is why some people actually, for the cat sets recently, which I appreciate a lot, people put them in a drop-down menu.
Yeah,
definitely, I really appreciate the drop-down menu.
Yeah,
especially on a live show when I'm trying to scroll through and show people stuff. Really, really appreciate when people collapse those into links.
Cat is interesting for me because it simultaneously makes the hobby more accessible for all layouts, but also increases the barrier of entry to this, what I would say is like this Herculean level of understanding of what kits I need to purchase. If I just now joined and I want cat, I don't know, I definitely feel for someone who's new and wants to buy cat, and you're like, holy God, there's 30 kits, what do I buy?
It's true, but I feel like for a lot of people, it's really not that difficult, right? Like, let's say you're new to the community and you want to buy this cat set, for example. Let's take a look through some of the kits. What are you going to buy? You have your standard 60%, or maybe you have a little bit more exotic layout or whatever. You're going to go ahead and you pick up some alphas. You'll buy your alphas. These are probably going to be like $35 or $40 or $50 maybe, or whatever. Then you're going to scroll down a bit and you're going to pick up a modifiers kit, and that's going to do it for you. That's all you really need. And that's it. And you're gonna choose what colors you want. Fair. That's fine. And if you want,
I am likely overreacting.
And if you want the novelties or whatever, sure, you'll pick up the novelties. And the reason this set is so insane is because of all the SKUs he's going with, all the options. So you have multiple alphas kits. I mean, you guys saw there's 3, 4, 5 alphas kits, and there's a comparable amount. Oh, I'm sorry, there's only 2, but there's what 3, 4, 5 mod kits.
Yeah,
4, 5,
4 modifiers.
6.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8. Wait, hold on.
I don't know.
There's 1, 2. The scrolling is so.
It's like
3.
It's
4,
that scene in the 70s movie
6.
where you're like, no.
So there's 6. So you have your choice of 2 alphas. Then you have a choice of 6 modifiers between 3 different colors. You have a monochrome black on white, a monochrome white on black, and then you have the hybrid white and black in both monochrome text and monochrome icons, right? So you have icons and text in all 3 offered color options. So you have 6 modifier kits, which obviously could get a little confusing, but people just have to decide on, you know, what colors they want, obviously, how they want their set to look. So, but really, all you need to do is pick up an alphas, pick up a modifiers kit. You'll probably spend like what, like $90 plus shipping, and you'll be able to outfit a lot of boards. And if you want to get more creative, then you pick up the novelties or whatever. It's a lot to take in, but I don't think it's quite as overwhelming as maybe others. But maybe I'm jaded to it.
I mean, that's fair, because obviously we're just terrible people now. No, you know, this is an interesting set for me, because, like, I'm sure it will look good. I'm sure it will sell well. I'm sure it will hit MOQ, and all 46 kits will get made. Someone counted it's 46, I think.
Well, the way CAT works anyways, it's based on cap. It's not
units.
Based on kits. So
yeah, so
you can do this, and it's fine.
The thing for me is, like, you know, there's a lot of sayings that are coming to my mind right now. Like, you know, instead of doing 50 things kind of okay, do, you know, 3 or 4 things really, really well. And I feel like the way that this is kitted, you know, it's multiple sets at once. It's a few ideas. Like, I feel like it's suffering from scope creep. Like, I want to do a white on black set, or I want to do monochrome, and then it just kind of grew and grew and grew.
Let me change your perspective a little bit here. How about, instead of calling it like GMK monochrome, just, this is hypothetical, obviously, you just call it cat black and white, not black on white or white on black, but black and white. And then you launched this, and then you have all the options. You have the monochrome white on black, the monochrome black on white, and then you have the more traditional hybrid monochrome with the black and white. If you called it that, similar to how we saw Infinity do it recently, do you think people would have less of a problem with it?
I don't know.
Do you think people? I don't know. Are people really just too overwhelmed?
Jaded person in me, with the times of the world that is right now, I have this like angle where I'm like, oh, it's a set that has gentleman novelties and is called white and black.
Or call it Cat Gentleman or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's better, but like, or Tux, you know, because that's like, I think that's kind of what the part of this is going for, is like, we're having a fancy dress party and we're all in a tuxedo and we wear our top hats and smoke our pipes and, you know, discuss the stocks. Yes. So I think that's maybe where it's at, but I don't know.
I need to go back and look at the previous run for GMK Monochrome, because I'm kind of curious where the gentlemanly stuff came into play, because I don't think that was originally part of the set. And I'm looking now, and it doesn't seem like it is. So
yeah,
I think you know, the whole like kind of gentleman theme is kind of new to the Cat Monochrome run, as opposed to being attached to the previous GMK moniker. So I don't know. I'm kind of confused on where that's coming from, and I'm not like opposed to it. Obviously, it doesn't hurt anything, but I don't know. Maybe that makes the set a little bit more confusing when you think about all the kits that go along with it as well. And maybe that's why some people are overwhelmed. But I don't know. I think the set's more or less fine, and I think it's probably going to do fairly well as long as this and Refined don't run like the same month or 2 or maybe 3. Then like this should be all right as well.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right.
I think I've said everything I can about it.
Yeah, I've been.
To be honest,
I think I'm just repeating myself at this point as well. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic. That's just the interest check, of course. Group buy coming in the future. I don't think we actually have a date. I didn't see one in here. It took me so long to go through this thread just because
it's so long. It's coming sometime.
I should go down and show off a couple renders before we actually leave this thread. It takes so long to scroll. Like if you're just scrolling.
Update, date. I don't see a date. All I see is updates.
I didn't see one earlier either, but that's just the way it is. But could be coming very soon, but we'll see. Man, some of these renders, so good, man.
Yeah, definitely not mad about that. That's for sure. Anyways,
let's go ahead and move over to
our last one.
Our last topic of the news.
Our last one.
That's right. So this is an interest check for SA Mizu. So obviously GMK Mizu by Rensia did quite well a while back on Dixie Mac. I believe that ran a little over a year ago, back in April 2019, if I recall. I bought that set. I love that set. And it's kind of coming back, or at least the theme is, Mizu, rather, coming back in the S8 profile. So let me get some better renders for you guys. There we go. So, yeah, Mizu coming back. And interestingly enough, not only is this coming back, it's coming back in Signature Plastics SA Row 3 only. So this is going to be a uniform Row 3 SA set. How do you feel about Mizu and the Mizu SA set?
I mean, I think Mizu is a nice set. A lot of people really like it. It sells for a ton in the aftermarket, so clearly there's demand for it. You know, even though I really like Bliss, I know Minterly, you know, I did not buy Bliss because it's a uniform profile. And, you know, I gotta say, I'm probably in the same boat on this, but that's my own personal preference. That said, for a Signature Plastics set that has this large of a base kit with some novelties included and space bars, 140 is the jam. Like, I think that is a fantastic price. I think it will do extremely well. Yeah, I think it's a smart play, personally.
Yeah.
And, of course, running the Desk Mat of the Year with it, again, very smart.
Yeah, you beat me to it. That's what I was going to say as well. This is the actual desk mat I'm currently using right now. But yeah, this was voted the desk mat of the year during March's Mech Madness 2020. So now a lot of people that maybe missed out on the first run get to pick it up again because, hot damn, man, this really is a fantastic desk mat. I can definitely see why.
It won for a reason. It's a very, very good desk mat.
Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. So definitely love to see that. But back to the base kit, you're totally right here. The compatibility is wild. $140 for Signature Plastics SA for this level of compatibility in an all-encompassing base kit. That's pretty good for $140. This is, I think this is actually priced better than SA Olivia, if I recall, and that wasn't exactly badly priced either.
No.
So.
The thing that surprised me the most out of the compatibility is actually the row 4 1.25 tab. I did not expect to see that key.
That's pretty uncommon.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyways, sorry, but yeah, I mean, it's good. They're obviously they have made certain decisions about removing certain things from this base kit to make it to slim it down a little bit. But I mean, this covers a ton of layouts for SA. Let's put an asterisk there, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's this looks like a winner to me. I'm probably not going to be picking it up just because I already own the GMK version and I don't really care to type on SA. But if I had to guess, this is going to look pretty cool. I'm really interested to see how this is going to look with you know, that kind of shiny SA ABS versus the kind of more textured GMK.
I think it'll be awesome.
Because it's always interesting to see how colorways between profiles scale. Because some of them can turn out pretty wildly different. Look at GMK Carbon versus SA Carbon, for example.
Yep.
Or like Calm Depths. I mean, there's so many interesting sets that just look wildly different between profiles. So always interested to see. And I feel like the Mizu theme could fit really well with a shiny ABS plastic, honestly.
I think that the Alpha Blue, you know, there was discussion about saturation of the blue when GMK Mizu came. I think that the blue in the alphas in SA will sing because that shine will brighten it a little bit. Like, you know, I really do think that the shine will make it appear to be a brighter blue and will be more pleasing to a lot of people, I think.
That's the thing, right? Because in the GMK run, a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but some people were a little upset because it just didn't come out like the render. The alphas were just a little bit darker, but the renders, they really showed the brighter blue alphas, kind of like you see here, and we just really weren't delivered that on the GMK version. But it could happen on the SA version. Maybe it could be, they could just really hit the colors here, and you're right, it could totally sing. I really think that the Mizu theme is going to work really well here with the shiny plastic. I mean, maybe on those alphas you can kind of get like a water tension almost effect if you look at it from the right angle, and you get like a nice shine across like a bunch of caps. I bet some epic pictures are going to come up with this set.
Yep, because it SA photographs so well.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, so many people hate to use it, but like most of us like to look at it. Really, like, it looks great.
Yeah, I do have to point out that ISO novelty. That ISO enter, it's not even a novelty, it's just is the ISO key that you get for return.
You don't have a choice. You don't have a normal ISO enter. You're forced to use the accent novelty ISO.
Yeah, which I mean, if you're going to be forced to use an accent novelty, like that's a damn good accent novelty to get. So like,
yeah. And I mean, Jay's been a big fan of the ISO novelties lately as well, and he's like the biggest ISO like person in the community. Basically, he's like the biggest pioneer for ISO coverage.
Well, I did feel like I had to represent coming on, so obviously I've been kind of honed in on all the ISO. All
Are you
long,
using an ISO board right now?
Not right now, but I refused. I purchased a board from Jay some time ago, and I refused to change the layout. So I did type in ISO for about 4 months on purpose.
Wow.
UK ISO on purpose. So
nice.
Yeah. I was like, well, Jay built it. I can't change it. So.
And then you did anyways.
No, and then I sold it because
I
needed money.
Fair enough.
So.
Fair enough. Yeah, so this is looking pretty nice, honestly. SA Mizu on the horizon. It's coming soon, July 1st. So start of next month, and it'll be open all month. Only $140. Not too shabby.
Seriously, that's huge for an SA set. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, huge in a good way. Not like
like in a good way.
Yeah, let's clarify that real quick. So that's actually going to round out our news doc for today. But of course, we are still going to do a little bit of a discussion, and then of course our Q&A, which kind of will meld into each other. But I'm going to talk about our sponsors for just a moment, and then we're going to roll right into those. But you guys can start asking questions and maybe give us some discussion topics as well. What do you guys want to talk about? What's really interesting you in the community right now? What's going on in your guys' lives in this hobby? Let's talk about some things. Don't forget to tag us as well. Use the @TopClack tag.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it, shall we?
Let's talk about that.
Use the @TopClack tag, though. I really appreciate that because it helps us pick the questions out of the chat, highlights it for us, makes it way easier. So very much appreciate that, guys. So feel free to start rolling those in, and we'll get to them momentarily, guys. But starting us off today, we have the wonderful, the one, the only, the Novel Keys, who is running multiple things this month as usual, starting with GMK Boneyard, which we talked about earlier. Very nice looking, simple set, kind of stems off of that GMK Carbon original colorway, so lovely looking stuff there. Also, GMK Midnight Rainbow is running. Might not be for me, but it could be totally for you, so you could consider picking that up as well. And KAM Ghost, another set that we talked about earlier, very kind of unique. Can outfit a lot of boards for under $100. Let's see, how much does it cost to outfit a TKL? Let's see, $35 alphas, TKL mods, $45. What is that, $80? So for $80, you can kind of cover a fair amount of TKLs or smaller. That's not too bad, honestly. So definitely love looking at that. They also has the blueberry switches in stock. That's that new tactile switch that I'm going to be building with in a build stream very soon. We'll be lubing those up and giving those a try. And of course, he has all the other good stuff that you're used to. He's got the olive plushies in stock. He's got switches. He's got stabilizers. He's got key sets, desk mats. You know, whatever you want. Chances are he might have it. He's kind of a one-stop shop these days. But whatever you're buying, as long as it's in stock, make sure you use the promo code CLACK. That's one word, CLACK. All lowercase, and that'll get you 5% off your total order. So make sure to use that when you're purchasing in-stock products there. Next up, we have Kono. The wonderful guys over at Input Club have been doing a lot lately, including starting up EnjoyPBT Ivory group buy. So this is one of the proxies that it's currently running on. And this is a really cool group buy for a couple reasons. One, it's a pretty awesome set, to be honest. And two, it's very inexpensive. And three, all the profits go to Save the Elephants, so we're getting another kind of a charity set going on here. Love seeing that. That's never a bad thing to check out. They also have the Keystone still going on now. You've been able to pre-order this for quite a while now. This is the one that uses the new kind of Hall Effect style Kale switch that has been very newly designed by the engineers and designers over at Input Club. And if you've missed out on any of the GMK sets or other sets or products that you may have missed out on in the previous runs, Kono does this really cool thing where they pretty much open up pre-orders for all of their sets immediately after the group buy closes. So if you missed out on something, let's say Cat Oasis, for example, you missed out on the group buy, chances are you can still pick up a few of the kits here because they allocate all their extras just right here. So let's say you missed out on GMK Copper, bam, you can just go in and grab one right there. Pretty easy peasy. So love seeing that approach. You don't really get that from every vendor, so kind of nice to see there. Third on the list today, we have the wonderful KBDfans, who has a few things going on right now as usual. If this is your preferred shop, then you might want to consider checking out EnjoyPBT Ivory, which is running here as well, so this could be your proxy for that. Of course, goes to support charity as well. Also, EnjoyPBT Cool Kids recently launched. This is that kind of a new playful fun set by Beep, which is, arguably not for everyone, but, in these wild, crazy, strange, trying times in the world right now, sometimes you just need a silly, playful set, and I feel like this delivers.
It's obviously for cool kids.
It's
obviously
exactly right. Like that's the whole point. It's for truly the coolest kids. Barring that, they do still have a lot of other things going on. The group buy for the KBD pad is also going on at the moment. And if I can find the actual link here, they also have. I think they're the only place right now to have a cat set that's actually in stock. So I know the colorway and the actual font, legends, etc. Maybe not for everyone, but if you want to try a cat scent that's actually in stock and you don't have to wait, then this could be a good option for you. Still under $100, so not too bad there. And they have lots of other things going on as well. So if you want cables or switches, stabilizers, lots of key sets. Here's a B-stock tofu case. So at least seeing that, you can get to things on the cheap. This one's only $66. I mean, for an entry-level case, that's not that bad. So lots of cool things going on there, regardless of what time you look at it. And last but not least, we have the wonderful Mekanisk, who has recently updated his website. Looks like today is a brand new image of this tinned, this upcoming board that I am just so freaking excited for. But barring that, he does have not a whole lot in stock, honestly, but you can still pick up a few things. He has the Mekanisk Ultramarine keyboard stabilizers, which we were talking about earlier on the stream. Very, very nice. I have some of these on the way, and I'm going to be buying some more. Probably some to give away as well. So looking forward to buying some of these. And you can get some case foam. Sometimes he has PCBs in stock. Not right now, unfortunately, but this WT60D PCB is one of my favorites in the community. I've been using a couple of those lately, and I've been really, really enjoying those. And yeah, look forward to that. Pick up some stabilizers, and man, get ready for the tinned, because the tinned is going to be freaking incredible. So excited to get my hands on one of these. Oh, I can't even look at it. Site's not finished yet. The product page isn't finished. I have to sign in for it. How unfortunate. But yeah, I'm also really looking forward to the Clip build stream that I'm going to be doing in the very near future, courtesy of Mekanisk. So yeah, let's swap back over and start fielding some of these questions and maybe having some good community discussions.
There's a few.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling back now to get the start of it. But yeah, feel free to ask questions or just bring up some discussion topics as well. Let's. What do you guys want to talk about? Tiny Shiny Crumb says Topra and Jeff loves it. Do you? Do you love it?
It's the best Switch you can buy.
Are you not a Topra fan?
No. So
all right, I'll see you later.
The feel is good. Okay, feel is
Fair
good. Whatever. I'm also not a tactile kid. I'm Linear Queen. Gang. But I just the sound gets me. I got to be honest. When people are like, listen to this sweet lube Topra, I'm like, it sounds like bad suction cups. I don't know. It's just not for me. I know people love it. It's great. I would store mine in my trash can. So
I'm gonna move on to the next question before I get too angry here. Depleted Best Speed is saying question. This one looks to be for Langelandia. What's the quote-unquote random question you've never dared asking Brian and Jay? / Brian, what's the random question you've expected / dreaded Lang to ask but never has? So just a little preface on this. Lang is, being the nice guy he is an avid watcher of the show, and he kind of has this running theme of asking kind of obscure questions that have nothing to do with keyboards during the Q&A segments, which we totally allow, and that's totally fine as long as you keep it safe for work, of course. And yeah, sometimes we're just a little taken aback from them. So I think I don't know if there's actually a question that I've had on my mind that you would ask that I'd be afraid of, unless it's something like not safe for work. But as long as as long as it's like safe for the stream, I don't really care what people ask, and I'm always interested, and I'm always happy to answer questions if I can.
You guys are always super welcoming to that. I just know that, like, doing the same thing every week, I always intentionally try and ask a random or at least non-keyboard related question, specifically because hopefully you're not stuck in a rut and you can still find some joy in doing it. The question that I've actually never asked, and I'm not asking you now, is it is safe for work, but it's also one that I'm sure would have like a domino effect if you were to answer it. And I specifically want to know, and I'm not asking now, so you don't answer it, is Brian, Jay, what is your favorite color? And the reason that I'm curious about that is because of what implications it will have outside of just me asking that one question of like, oh, well, we all know that Brian really likes yellow, so he must need to buy this set. You know, like, like I could just see chat having fun with that over the course of time. So, anyways.
Yeah, the thing for me is, like, now since Top Clack's been around for a few years and we've been doing the same thing for a while now, it's like people are already aware that I am pretty colorblind and I really kind of don't comment a whole lot on colors because of it. So I don't know. I do have a favorite color.
It's red, green, gray.
It's a green and silver combination called Viridian. And
oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I am not the like was talking about earlier in the stream. Colors, I don't care about colors that much. And
but that's yet another reason why that question is so good, because you're so tired of
yeah, you're right. You're right. It's the implications. It really is. I think colors are fine, and I'm glad that people have access to lots of options and they can get the colors that they like, hopefully. But like I just don't care. Like if I'm typing on a GMK set, then I'm typing on a GMK set. I don't care what color it is. It's going to perform the same. And let's be real, I'm not spending all of my time looking at it anyways. I'm looking at the screen most of the time. So it's like, I don't know. I get why some people are so passionate and so argumentative about colors.
Tasty.
But I'm just not that person. So it's
I know that Neb doesn't care about colors much. So at least you have someone that's Neb's associated with you.
Well, he's like troll though, because he's like a color god, right? He like calibrates everything. He's like really into like the color meta.
He's genuinely very good with color.
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
had to throw it. I had to shoot him
he even offers a
little
service.
Bit of a dig there.
He offers a service now in the keyboard community for proper like color matching, if I'm not mistaken, or some kind of color work. And it seems he's been doing it really well, and he's got a passion for it, and that's great.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah,
okay, onward.
Let's go on to the next question here. I'm not going to attempt that username. Village Idiot. All right. Please tell Jay when he runs a group buy, we want to hear about it. It's part of the news, and he puts out good stuff. It does the group buy a disservice if they're not mentioned on Top Clack. That's what I've been trying to tell him, man. Top Clack.
Jay, you're watching.
I don't know if Jay's watching.
Do it.
He's probably sleeping.
I'm talking to him in the VOD. Okay.
All right. Totally agree. You. But yeah, I mean, I get he doesn't want to. I get where he's coming from though. Like, he doesn't want. I'll be transparent about this. We've had complaints that people are worried that he's shilling on Top Clack for prototypists, and like. A lot of people don't like that, and regardless of what your outlook is, I guess it's fair to say that he shouldn't be able to shill. And I agree. Like, if he's like really shilling something, that's one thing, right? Like shilling and talking about the details of a product are very different things. And the whole point of Top Clack is, while we do often offer our opinions matter very little. Like, really, like, who cares? We're just two guys talking about keyboards on the internet. Like, really, who cares? You're not going to know if you like something until you try it. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what Langelandia says. It doesn't matter what Jay says or anyone else. Like, you're not going to know what you like until you actually try it. So...
And definitely don't listen to this fucking guy. So.
But yeah, the whole point of Top Clack is education, information, that kind of thing. Like, making sure people have... the ideas they need to, put their hard-earned money towards things that they're not going to, waste their money on, hopefully. And it's the whole point is information. And you're totally right, Village Idiot. You're totally right about that. I think it's I want him to be able to talk about his stuff on the show. But like, if people are complaining about it, then we kind of have to address it, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. Him and I actually talked about this recently. We talked about
and he's unfortunately in a tough position there, right?
It's true. So. It's true. I think when I don't think nor him nor I knew that he was going to start being a vendor when he joined Top Clack. So yes, it kind of gets a little tricky, but like it's not like he's going full-time vendor. It's kind of just like a side project for him. He's not trying to be the next Novel Keys or mykeyboard.eu or something like that. It's just going to be a side project for him. It's not like he's quitting his job for it or anything. So it's like I don't know. I understand him not wanting to shill, and I agree that I don't think he should be like necessarily shilling because of Top Clack. That's definitely kind of an issue, but he shouldn't ignore products just because he's running them. He shouldn't ignore talking about products just because he's running them. That's how I feel about that. But yeah, Jay and I have had multiple conversations about that, and him and I have a little bit of trouble seeing eye to eye on that. Because, it's what he wants to do versus kind of Top Clack's mission versus kind of how some other people feel about it. Because, there's lots of people out there, and some of you guys out there that are watching, some of you guys just really hate it, and some of you guys don't care, and some of you guys love it. There's different strokes for different folks, I guess.
All right, what's next? What's coming up next?
Petrov says, I'm currently on an R&D mission to find out how sandwich mount, effectively like the SPAC, really works with carbon fiber plates in relation to the Allison. Hypothesis, sandwich plus carbon fiber plate is amazing sound. All right. Yeah, sure. Sandwich plus carbon fiber. I've never had a problem with that combo either. I think I've only done
anecdotally,
it like
the answer is yes to that. Like, I have
yeah.
yet to have someone say they didn't like it, and, like, as far as I can think.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. DD Decline is asking if you got to make the keycap profile of your dreams, what would it be? Ooh. I don't.
I think
like cherry. I like cherry. I like cherry. I like cat. I don't know. I'd have to put a lot more thought into making a new profile, so it's kind of hard to answer that question like without any like having thought about it before. Because
honestly,
I've never thought that the profiles that we currently have aren't good enough for me, and that I need to like make something new. So like it's never been in my head like what my ideal profile would look like, because I'm pretty happy with cherry and cat.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. Like, Cherry is a big fan, or I'm a big fan of Cherry. I'm excited to have HSA because I feel like that will be a solid place that I'll live. So I guess to answer the question directly, if I could design one, it would probably be half height SA sculpt, which someone already did. So,
all right. 10 Peaches is asking, what are your thoughts on cat milkshake QC issues, and should the kitting for cat set standardized like GMK? At the moment, the kits are all over the place, like you guys have commented on cat monochrome. Yeah, it's weird, right? Because it's a difference in the way they do MOQ. Otherwise, would we see the same thing in GMK? Because the way cat is ran right now is we run every key. Because why not? There's no reason not to run every key. If it's gonna make MOQ, then all the keys are gonna get made anyways. So that's the whole thing behind cat, is with the way the MOQ works. It's like, why not just run compatibility for literally everyone in the world? And because of that, you're left with a lot of kits. And GMK just can't really do that. And I would argue that the cat way is better, even if it's more confusing and more work. But at the end of the day, everyone's gonna get exactly the caps they want. Way more often than they are with GMK.
That's, man, there's a lot to unpack on that one. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Feel free.
Yeah, because I don't. Because I'm confused about what happened. Right? Because I just don't know. I don't think we know enough information to know where the breakdown was in the QC, because I know that I don't think that Beep would have accepted poor samples, right?
Sure.
So, and I know that they're working to fixing things.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be the first or the second or the 100th group buy in this community to, provide very nice samples of something, got the all approval, let's go ahead, and then manufactured crap. I'm not saying that cat milkshake is crap. I'm just general blanket statement of things happening that have happened in the community. This is nothing new. You see something rendered, you see something designed, and you're like, yes, that's cool, and then it's manufactured, and it's not quite the same. It's nothing new in this community. This literally happens in at least half the group buys in our community, probably. So it's a bummer though, right? Because you pay for a product that you expect at a certain level of quality, and if you're not delivered that expected level of quality, you might be a little angry about it. And I think most people would probably agree that that's justified.
So to answer the question directly, I don't think that standardizing the kits will be the thing that brings the quality control in line.
No.
So
that won't change anything.
No. It's you need to determine what the root cause of the issue was in the first place, and then put systems and processes in place to avoid that in the future. And I don't think that spending extra time on having human beings sort out the kits will be the thing that is the root cause of that. So
I also, and maybe I'm just being a little too nice here, and I think maybe I'm in a minority and most people might not agree with me, but you gotta also realize that Creative as a manufacturer, brand freaking new. They've been around for just a couple years. This is not like, it's not like they've been around like GMK or Cherry or SP that's been around for decades and decades doing this and perfecting their craft, to which they still haven't. You gotta, at some way, you can't expect 100% perfection out of brand new factories, like 100% of the time. Like, you just can't. GMK is not even perfect, and they've been doing it since what, like the 70s or something? What is this is a conversation back on Behind the Keyboard I had with Andy of GMK, is managing people's expectations. Right now in the community, everyone's being really, they're scrutinizing everything. Everyone's taking a microscope to everything. Is this legend like a little off maybe? Is like the dimensions of this? But at the end of the day, like in real typing, like we don't type like this. Like
we're not staring at it.
So, like, there's so many arguments, and I don't
want to, and the conversation, too, is, like, there's a level of expectation that says, I expect my Legends to be perfect if I spend $150 on one keyboard's keycaps. It's another thing if I spend $70, right? Like, there is an expectation for a certain deviation of perfection based on the cost, right? So... And I don't know the answer to this, and I don't have the answer to this, nor will I ever believe that we have an agreement on this. What is the level of acceptable deviation from the quality based on the scale of price? Right? So, I mean, if it's me and I have cat milkshake on my keyboard, I'm not going to lie, I'm probably pretty damn happy. Like, just to be totally direct. So...
I mean, for me, it would have been a sub $100 set.
Yeah.
Or close to it. I guess I would have picked up the novelties.
The colors look great. Like, we haven't even talked about the fact that the colors look awesome. Like, and that can't be easy to do with pastels.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, at the end of the day, like you just have to figure out how you're gonna feel about it, because not everyone's gonna feel the same, and some people are gonna feel like personally attacked, and they have to like lash out and argue and send all these like threats and like, we gotta fix. I paid $90 for this. You gotta fix all my stuff, and then you're gonna have people that are just like, I don't care. It's good enough for me, and you're gonna have everything in between, and that's not necessarily a bad or a good thing. It's just the way people are.
And every single one of those people is right to feel justified in their opinion. So
that's the thing. Like, nobody's really like wrong. It's just like everyone feels like differently about it, and chances are your feelings and opinions are valid.
Yep. And you know what? I don't think we can say more about it without beating into the ground.
It's just too hard of a topic to like talk about, because like we could just ramble about it for like days and like get nowhere, because the only way you could change is to get literally everyone to agree, and you're never going to do that. So
yeah, I mean,
Chuletas is with our next question, asking, what do you guys think about the moves into more custom options in the Topra genre, with things like the Conundrum in Gondo's custom HH KB PCB, which is called the Faraday 60, if I recall. And obviously, we recently learned how you feel about Topra, Jeff. So
that's actually a good point, because despite the fact that I personally will not spend money on Topra or any Topra product, okay, I do not like it. I've tried it. It is not my thing. Full disclosure, I love that people are continuing to work into the space of getting more and more custom options for Topra, because clearly it is a desired thing, and having more and more options for people to be more and more inclusive and to be able to do what they want and customize what they want and how they want. I love it. I think it's perfect and welcome, and continue to do it, please God.
Yeah, people having access to the things they want. Why would that ever be bad, right? Like, the reason it's been so difficult in the past is just because of how difficult and how expensive it can be. I know I actually forgot to add to the news doc this week, which actually surprised me because I had the tab saved. But Norbauer put out the interest check recently for his new HHKB project, which has he says it has $40,000 of R&D in it already. That's immense. And obviously Norbauer is not like everyone else. He kind of goes over the top because that's just him. That's his style, and he likes that super high end premium stuff, and that's great. But Topra is not the hardest thing to do, especially in the HHKB space, which is why we don't see a ton of people doing it. We've had some successes in the past, we've had some failures, but I think we're finally at the point in time where we have enough people in the community and people care about it enough. People like Gondo, people like Norbauer, people that are actually willing to put the time, the effort into, actually designing some custom Topra stuff, and I think it's great. It sucks that we didn't see this years ago, back when Topra was, even more popular, overall in our community. So it's, I don't know. Well, it's better late than never, but yeah, I'm definitely glad custom Topra stuff is finally starting to see the light of day.
It has to be so interesting and complex for Norbauer to crush it with his cases for years, and to have such a different approach with the traditional HHKB layout. Like, that in and of itself deserves respect and appreciation and understanding. So kudos to Gondo, to Norbauer, to the people that continue to push for that customization. Again, it's just not my jam. So,
yeah.
But
totally,
yes, love it.
Totally fine. Yeah, the conundrum in particular, which is something that we talked about last week on the show. Even though I'm not an ortholinear user, per se, I pretty much have to pick one of those up. I mean, custom Topra is just so interesting to me.
It's so rare.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and you never know how good. Like, it could be really awesome, or it could be, maybe not so much. I'll have to wait and see. All right, Depleted Vespine is asking, have either of you ever made a build with the explicit purpose of making Shut up, Jeff. Shut up. Have you ever made a build with his explicit purpose of making onlookers go, how the hell do I use this? I feel like this is something we kind of talked about earlier when we were talking about that set. When you were talking about, like, it's that set that you'd want to use. I'm forgetting the name of it already. I have to go back. The SA 8010 set. You'd want to use that just so, like, people would come over and be like, what is that? Like, people that aren't in the know, they come over and like, what is this keyboard? It's like a centerpiece almost. So yeah, have you ever built keyboards just so other people can say, how the hell do I use this?
Yeah, I built from Kebio. I built a split plank. I forget the name. They name everything so interestingly there. A split plank ortho, the two 4x6 pads, and then I put linearized black Alps on it with blank black caps. And so when I would bring that to work, people would be like, what is going on?
How do you do this?
What are your numbers? I'm like, why is that the thing you care about? You don't give a shit about any of the letters? Like, it's so interesting. Yeah, it's not the Let's Split from Kebio. It's something different. He titles them different things. Like, his Ergo Split is like the Iris, right, or something. The Levinson. Thank you, Royal. The Levinson.
Gotcha. It's always hard to remember some of the names of these products because there are so many, like, obviously we see a lot of, like, the high-end, like, group buys, like, $200 and $300-$400 keyboards and stuff, but, like, a lot of that, like, really highly custom stuff, like that Let's Split kind of stuff, like, when it started, like, that stuff flies under so many people's radar because it's just, like, it happens so often, especially in the Japanese community. They're, like, nuts about that kind of stuff over there. I love it.
What about you? Have you ever done that?
I honestly, I can't say I have. I can't. I've always built boards to try to make it the best typing experience that like works for me.
That's fair. I did this last. Wait, it was this. Oh my god, it's so long ago. No, it couldn't have been this year, because it had to have been year prior, because we were in quarantine this year. But for April Fools, I brought in a bunch of different boards that I would slowly switch throughout the day, just to mess with people. So in the morning was that like Crayola colored keyboard for children, and I started with that. So as people would come in, they'd be like, "What the, like, what is this?" And then I slowly switched to different boards I had. I have a Black Space Invaders board that I brought out, and I slowly got louder as the day progressed. I switched to a Model M and then a Model F, and then I have a Pingmaster, and the speaker works on it. So by the time I brought that out, I didn't even turn on the speaker, and I was told, no more. You cannot use that one. That one is absolutely beyond the pale. No. So, yes, I have intentionally annoyed people before, whether it be visually or through audio.
Nice. Our next question here is coming from Rezix, I believe. My question is a newbie into the scene. I'm building my first Tofu 60 with drop holy pandas, and I'm kind of nervous about soldering switches. Any tips or guide? Well, for starters, there are tons of guides out there. It doesn't even need to be like a keyboard specific guide. I learned how to solder just by watching soldering guides on YouTube. I would say that soldering is a lot easier than a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
As long as maybe you don't have some kind of like metal condition, maybe your hands are super unstable, for example. As long as you're fairly confident in yourself. I think confidence is a lot of it as well. Just watch some videos, maybe ask some questions around. You can join our Discord below. Lots of people can help out there as well. I can walk you through it there. But yeah, as far as like tips, be confident is always one of my biggest tips. You don't want to leave the soldering iron on the pad for too long, otherwise you risk damaging the pad. Also kind of scales with the quality of the PCB, but just to be safe, it's usually best to not leave the hot iron on the pad for too long. A few seconds, totally fine, but usually once you cross that 4, 5, 6 second mark, you can kind of start to damage the pad. So try to work, it doesn't have to be insanely fast, but just try to work very confidently. The more nervous you are about it, I think the worse things are going to go. At least that's how my experience was when I started. But I think once you kind of, you start to get a few down, it becomes pretty easy, and you're going to be like, oh, okay. And then you're just going to fly through it. And you're going to feel silly forever feeling nervous before, probably. Did you have anything to add to that, Langelandia?
No, I mean, there's also, if you really are nervous and trying to work up the confidence, there are practice soldering kits that you can purchase.
Oh, yes.
That are pretty inexpensive, $12, $15, $20 for like the Mac Daddy of them. And that'll teach you through hole soldering, it'll teach you on pad soldering. So that will definitely, I think, help if you're really nervous about ruining your board.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if they're in stock right now, but over at Cannon Keys, he has something similar, the Practice series of boards, like the Practice 60, for example.
Yep.
Very inexpensive, and not only does it teach you how to build the keyboard, and you do a bunch of it, but you wind up with a keyboard at the end. It's not just like a soldering kit for practice. That's very cool. You actually... No, I mean, what you brought up was great as well. It's still cheaper, I believe, but yeah, like a Practice 60, like you wind up getting your first keyboard out of it, for example, and it's pretty cheap as well. But also another tip, because I've seen people do this before, is it's kind of hard to kill a PCB, but there are definitely some dead PCBs out in the world, and if you make a want to buy post, for example, on like Mech Market or on some of the Discord servers that have a market channel, a lot of people are willing to send you like an old dead PCB that just doesn't work for like the cost of shipping, for example, and you'll pay just a couple bucks, and you can just solder and desolder that PCB until your heart's content. You don't have to worry about messing up anything. Mm-hmm. So I think that's usually a good way to go about it, because it doesn't really cost you a whole lot. You spend a few bucks and you can practice as much as you want.
Yeah, I think that's good advice.
20 was here, is asking, now that Jay is not here, let's talk about how you really feel about ISO. I have nothing against ISO. I really don't. I don't care what layout people use. Just like I don't care about what colors people like. Like whatever colors you want to like. Use whatever layouts you want to use.
I completely agree. I use whatever layout you want. I do not agree that it should be eliminated because obviously there are many countries that still use it, or at least, more countries than say Colmac, right?
Yeah.
But my sole gripe with ISO is that it stands for International Organization for Standardization. And I get that it's not iOS because obviously Apple has co-opted that, but it just bothers me that it's flipped. Like it bothers me so much.
So the term itself bothers you, not the actual
the name
layout.
itself bothers me because it's
it.
not. Yeah. Anyways.
I love it. Brez with our next question. There is some portion of the SA production process or production scale that leads to the long lead times. Is there some portion of the SA production that leads to the long lead times? It seems we run 3 to 4 GMK sets for every SA set, and yet there seem to have much shorter lead time compared to SA sets. Last I checked, I mean, my information might be out of date, but Signature Plastics had fewer machines than GMK. And I think GMK even recently picked up a new machine. I think they also have more workers, just a higher number of staff. But I think they're just able to do that just because they have more equipment and more people, that kind of thing.
Signature Plastics is literally a family business.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, it also goes without saying that like GMK right now is also way more popular than SA, so you're just going to see a lot more GMK sets, and that could affect the lead times of both. We've been seeing the SAQ actually drop a little bit now that we're starting to catch up, whereas the GMK queue is starting to be pushed a little bit more farther out, even though they just got their new machine recently. I'm pretty sure. So it's just going to show you everyone's all about that GMK life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Brian is colorblind. Yeah, we knew this. This is not new information.
While Brian looks for the next question, you guys see my sweet watch?
Oh,
check it out.
That's classic.
I also have a gold version for fancy occasions.
Oof.
Yeah. Cool guy.
Apiary Keyboards. What is up, Gas? Thanks so much for the sub. Tier 1 sub says, loving the new look, Jay. Yeah, we had a new Jay today. It's a good one.
Yeah. A less sexy, not British Jay.
Yeah. Well, you gotta take what you can get.
Japanese. I am taller than him, though, so.
That's true, Jay.
Or one Jeff.
That's true. You're a lot taller than Jay. Japanese Horror Writer donates 1,000 rip bits, as is tradition. Thank you so much, Japanese Horror Writer. Always a pleasure to have you around. Chuleta's asking, also, Top Clack, gotta call out subs and bits, broskies. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying. I missed some of them. Streaming is not always easy. I'm sorry.
Depleted Vespian had a watch like this when he was a kid. Joke's on you, I've never not been a kid.
Tiny Chinny Crumb is asking if I've seen those color glasses for colorblind people, and I have actually. I think they're called like Chroma or something. I've considered trying out a pair, but it's not going to be cheap because I'll need prescription as well. So, which they do, but it's not cheap. So, eventually I probably will, but I don't have the spare income to try that out at the moment, unfortunately. Let's see. Chuletas with another question saying, I'm sorry, but you guys are about speaking of products and group buys. I think this is in reference to Jay not wanting to shill or talk about his products.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry, start over. I'm sorry, but you guys are about speaking of products and group buys. You guys are about being honest about them. He should have liberty to speak about his own stuff because he is someone who is excited about cool shit, and it just so happens that he makes cool shit. Would love to see his passion about them coming through on the stream regardless. I totally agree. I wish everyone agreed, but unfortunately, some people aren't, happy about it, and some people think that he is shilling through Top Clack because he is now also a vendor on the side. So it's sad, but it's the way it is. Some people are just going to see it that way, even when it's not. So it's just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something I have talked to him about just the other day. So it's something we're working on. Rain Freestyle is asking, odd question, and I don't know if you guys would know the fix. My cable I made from Zap cables, when I plug into my PC, it starts saying power surge. starts. The cable says power surge when you plug it in, huh?
Yeah. So just as a quick aside, I did link Zap's Discord, and they have a tech help there specifically for their cables.
Nice.
So just an FYI, if you need like hands-on help, they can help.
I will tell you
someone
right
said
now,
it's likely a short.
Yeah, it's probably a short for sure. But yeah, does the cable actually work at all in any capacity, or does it just say power surge? It doesn't work. I guess if it doesn't work, then it's probably a short. And yeah, that Discord will probably help you quite a bit, since that's what that's actually.
And they're so
for.
fantastic. They'll get you
Zap is
away.
great. Zap is great too. Firewoman says, Brian, run more sets. I don't run sets because I'm colorblind. You guys know this. There's a reason I don't design sets.
Just run GMK Cafe.
Wait. Do I have your permission to rerun GMK Cafe? Only you. Only you would be okay with that. Yeah.
Oh God.
We pause.
Doesn't matter if it comes out black or not. Guys, I told you I was colorblind. It's a black and white set anyway.
Yeah. I'll change the colors entirely. It'll be like a blue and like pink and like, I don't know, green set with black, and I'll call it Cafe. Yellow. It'll just be yellow blanks, and I'll call it Cafe.
God.
Oh,
I'm gonna die.
You're too much fun, man. I swear. I'm still scrolling through some questions here. Ballin' Boy, that's a username I haven't seen in a little bit. Donates 100 bits. Thank you so much for that, man.
Good looking out.
Says, great show, guys. I hope you're staying safe. Question: do you know any updates you can share about the renewed GMK stabilizers? Unfortunately, I don't, because I think I'd have if I was told, then I would have to be under NDA. That's what I was told. But I might be getting some information soon. But assuming I do, I think I might be under NDA, so I might not be able to talk about it. But rest assured, as soon as I am able to talk about it, and I was pestering Andy about this not that long ago. Once he lets me talk to people about it, I certainly will, because I'm always trying to pester people to try to get you guys information as soon as possible. So this is no difference here. Trying to get you guys the information as soon as I'm able to. But as it stands right now, I do not have any new information about the renewed GMK stabilizers. But I think they're not as far out as we might think. I think they're coming relatively soon. All right. Tiny Shiny Crumb says, at some point we will be doing a soldering how-to series for beginners on Cal and Ops. Or Cal and Opes, sorry. It's Opes, right? Is that what you say, Ope, right?
Ope. Yeah, because we're the two Opes.
Ope. Okay.
I tried to not shill too much, but yeah.
We'll eventually keep shilling. Keep shilling. Go watch Cal and Opes. In fact, just spam the link in the channel. in the Twitch chat. Just seriously, someone put the link in there.
Oh my God.
So
right.
Cyrus is asking, what's a quote-unquote older group buy, or just an interest check that didn't pan out, that you guys felt was underrated or you would like to see run again? All right, an older group buy or interest check that didn't pan out that we'd like to see ran again. Well, if it didn't pan out, then it would be running for the first time, right? I don't know.
That's a good one.
Because I mean, if it ran already, then it probably panned out, right? I don't know. I think I'm misunderstanding the question a little bit. But some sets that were underrated that maybe we want to see run again, or not necessarily just sets. I guess anything. He doesn't specify. What do you want to see ran again that maybe failed the first time or was underrated? GMK Hammerhead. I think Hammerhead actually had a lot of potential, but there were a lot of mistakes on the first attempt.
There were a lot of struggles.
And he launched it, but he had to close the group by, and he still hasn't opened it back up yet, but he has been restructuring that, and I think it does. He does have a much better direction with the new redesign, although it's not the colorway I wish he would have chosen out of the previous options. So yeah, I would say Hammerhead.
Man, that's tough.
That is a tough one, because now you have to start thinking about like all the sets that you liked that failed,
sets
or
that
like,
I liked that I either didn't
underrated.
get, or Because I for a long time really needed SA Godspeed to run again, but then that happened because that was the set that initially got me interested in like higher end customs.
Sure.
So I'm very pleased that has happened, and I spent all of the money on every single aspect of that. So I don't know. I think there are interesting sets out there that I would like to see. You know, like GMK Monkey is like a weird one.
I was
that
just
I think
saying
would be
that
fun.
the other day that we need to rerun GMK Monkey.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. I'm not even really into orange much, but I think that set is kind of fun.
It's just like a fundamental set, right? I mean, you don't even have to call it monkey, right? You just call it orange on white. Call it GMK orange on white. Like, it doesn't even need the monkey theme, but it's just...
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's probably things in the depths of the brain that I'm like, all right, let's do this.
Quite a few people in chat with some good
Sparta,
options.
that's a good one.
Sparta, Hyperfuse round 1, need that F8, right? Yugo,
F8.
Square.
Well, specifically
80.
the Zastava kit.
The Zastava kit, yeah, sorry.
Of Yugo, yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Yugo didn't get a whole lot of love.
Did not, but still waiting on that one. Yeah.
Same.
Can't wait.
Same. I bought it as well, and you know,
so good.
You got to admit, regardless of how we feel about it, it's not a popular set. I mean, it did not sell. It had to get extended like twice, didn't it? It like almost failed like so many times. But like it just barely scraped by. I felt like. So it definitely an underrated set, even though it did, you know, quote unquote pan out, I guess, per se.
Forged is a good call. That was an unfortunate situation there.
Oh, I got one for you. DSA Evergreen. How many of you guys have heard about that?
I don't recall that.
I think that set is like 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 years old.
Wasn't there? Maybe she's still in here. I can't remember the name of this. DSA Borealis.
Borealis, wow.
Yes, DSA Borealis. Kate is a huge fan of this, and that is a set that is a desired rerun. I think that is an interesting set. I would like to see it in a not bad profile. Personally,
Borealis. Okay.
I don't like flat profiles, so I'd like to see it in a cherry or
fair enough. Oh, Neb
even an SA.
Neb says the HB85. The HB85 is without a doubt one of the coolest and best keyboards I've ever used in this hobby.
So interesting.
It's amazing, and it's not for everyone. I get that, but like,
yeah,
if you have an open mind, you probably like that board a lot.
My buddy Capsy has 2 or 3. Like, I think most of you know Capsy.
He has good taste. Then that board is really cool.
He loves that keyboard. Yeah.
I mean, it just sounds and feels unlike anything else, and like you think like just being like another like, you know, multi-piece top mount keyboard, like, it would be like consistent with a lot of the other ones, but it's just unlike anything else.
I think we can safely put Gray Studio keyboards in the category of sounds wildly better than it should. Like, the space sounds crazy good.
Yeah, that's fair.
HB85, from what I can tell, is super good.
It definitely has. It sounds better than it has any right to, I feel.
Yeah, like, it's just, yeah. Well, yeah, fair. Not all Gray Studio, but continues to have these things where they sound much better than they're supposed to, or you would expect them to, right? So.
Yeah. Let's see here. Opsec Panda is asking, did you guys talk about Infinity Aether and I missed it? I was off stream for a bit, but wanted opinion since Lang is working with Infinity already. We did not talk about Aether today, no. But
I assumed that would be on next week's show since it's now in group buy, right? Probably what you chose on that.
Is the group buy open right now?
Yeah, it started it right as showtime began. So.
Oh, yeah. So I try to scan like right before the show, but like usually things happen like hours before the show. So if I miss something, I try to just add it for the next week's stock. And usually it's not that big of a deal, right? Because most of these like sets run for like a month or more anyways. So like it's usually not too big of a deal. But
I think the question is centered around Infinity, which I'm happy to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
So, and Brian, I know that you are in this school of thought. I'm a big value guy. So a lot of plastic for my money so that I can use it on tons of boards and have it forever is kind of my jam. And right now, especially in PBT land, that's Infinity. And I know that they took kind of a while to get started, right? Like there was the Katakana sets that were pretty good, but there were a lot of issues. And then there were the Candy Bar 40s kits that were much improved, but still have issues. I have a set. They still have issues, right? But just recently I received my bread, in which ran and is the same colors as the Sanctuary Rebirth. Yeah. For the price and amount of plastic you get for that, I could not be happier. Like nitpicking and looking through, yeah, you know what? There are some imperfections. There is one arrow that is slightly off shaped on one of my keys. And that's unfortunate, but I'm never going to look for that unless I'm intentionally trying to check it out. And, you know, to the conversation we had earlier, not even GMK is perfect. Like I got Pretty in Pink, and, you know, my novelty flower is ever so slightly skewed to the right. Like GMK can't do absolute perfection. They can get damn close, and especially for the price, I'm very, very pleased with Infinity. And if you like the colorway of Aether, it will cover a ton of boards, and I don't think that you're going to be mad about it. So,
yeah, it'll probably be on me at the news doc for next week, guys. So
yeah, and Neb, that's a good point. So Nebulant brings up a very specific point about the black in bread. So because it is dye, the thing that I liken it to is this thing that, like, if you ever used a black Sharpie on paper, and sometimes in certain lights it doesn't look quite black, like it almost has an almost brown or even almost like a slight green tinge to it because it is dye on a specific piece of medium. That's kind of how the black can look on bread. So in most situations it's absolutely black. It looks black. Like I'm not, you know, super off about that. But especially in a lot of, you know, high light situations, you know, it doesn't look truly black. It's definitely freaking, you know, black, but it's just ever so slightly off.
Yeah. I mean,
which
that's
is
one
to
of the
be
problems.
Expected.
That's one of the
It's to be
problems
expected.
that people have been having with Infinity is, you know, I had this issue when I had one of the Katakana sets as well. This is black on white, but really the black is more of like a dark gray.
It is much blacker than that now.
Okay, yeah. See, that's what I've been seeing with some of the pictures as well. Is, you know, as they keep putting out sets, they keep getting the black just a little bit more darker. It seems like they're trying to like account for more people's taste, and I think that's great. I don't really have anything against Infinity. I don't think it might be a perfect product, but I mean, I think, like you mentioned earlier, I think it is pretty decent value. You get a fair amount of plastic for your money, and that's not going to matter to everyone, but to the people that it does matter to, it's kind of a big deal. And you can try a lot of cool colorways because it's, you know, it's PBT and it's, you know, usually $100 or less.
Yeah, and I think that dye sub interesting kind of colored like trickery works very well for sets that are intentionally designed to be tricky with colors. Like Aether, I don't think it'll be a problem because it's a gradient and, you know, there's color blending and fun there. Like Grain, the reason I targeted dye sub was because I wanted you to look at it and go, I'm not sure what color it is. Like that's why you do it. So like if you have a very specific idea of a color of a set, and you absolutely 100% need it to be that, I don't know if like a dark dye sub is going to be for you. And Neb, you know, the color god can definitely speak to that too. But anyways, that's
Neb, the color god. Huh?
Well, I mean, that's what he is, right?
That's true.
And to answer that question about Infinity, I would personally purchase Aether if you like the color without concern in the least, especially since their turnaround is fast. Like, and this is like public knowledge, but like they order full prototypes early. So Grain, I have tracking for prototypes now, and that was late. 808, we already ordered prototypes. They're in production and will be sent before group buy even happens. So we'll know what it looks like before we even sell.
That's awesome.
So like that's one thing that is super huge about them. They have a hugely fast turnaround on stuff. So
yeah, and it's good to know that like on a lot of these sets too, like as one of the designers, you guys are actually going to be doing like the color approving, right? Not TKC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is always good too. We love to see that, so that way, like, you know, if the colors don't turn out right, we can just blame you. Easy peasy.
Yeah, no, please. If you hate the color, it's my fault. You know, that's fine. Run me out of town.
Just kidding. I'm sure it's.
Oh, that's interesting. EPBT does the same thing with full prototypes before running. That's cool. I didn't know that.
That's cool.
So shout out to. I think that's a really, really smart thing. I know that Cat Arctic did that, so I'm assuming that Cat is trying to, rein that in too. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that in mind, as we kind of cross the 2.5 hour mark, I think that's pretty much going to wrap up today's show. So I'm just gonna kind of start out on some outro here. I'm just gonna spam Langelandia's YouTube channel. Right
oh my god!
Here, I'm just.
It's not mine.
I'm just gonna.
We share it.
I'm gonna put the Callanopes YouTube channel right there in there. Just.
As an aside, if you are interested in a polycarbonate iron, tomorrow 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. best time zone Central.
Is that on Twitch?
I'm going to build that. You can watch on Twitch.
What's the channel name?
Langelandia. It's me. So, yeah.
All right.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for
well.
those of you that didn't go crazy listening to me.
Nobody went crazy listening to you. Oh man, you're way too hard on yourself. Way too hard on yourself. Everyone loves you. We all love you.
Many hearts.
This. Don't forget to raid someone. Oh yes, I should set up the raid. Hold on, wait. Make sure you guys go follow Langelandia's YouTube channel and Twitch channel there. The Callanopes, all that good stuff. And yeah, guys. So new host? No, not new temporary co-host for the day. Jay not feeling too well. Sorry,
we've got Max F live. That's someone we could.
I like Max. I was just bringing up my Twitch to see who was alive, so I'll probably have to go and do that, guys. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show. I know it was a bit different and a bit kind of weird, but I think we had a really good time, and hopefully you guys did as well. We were lucky enough to have Langelandia step in as a co-host today for Jay. Definitely really helps me out way more than you guys know because, as the one running the stream, I'm usually trying to do a lot of stuff, so it's hard to constantly talk and do all the things I need to do all at the same time. So having a co-host, really, really beneficial. So thank you so much, Langelandia, for coming on. And yeah, definitely looking forward to your Iron stream tomorrow. I'm going to have to check that out. Are you going to be the first person building a PC Iron 165?
I'll be darn close, I think. I'll be darn close.
Okay.
Yes, Tyler Durdens. I am very good at talking.
It's almost like he does it for a living.
I do. If you need voiceover help.
That's actually what he does. Fan-freaking-tastic. All right. Who are we rating? Hold on, let me pull up some channels here. You said Max F is online?
Yes. Max F live.
Max F. We'll raid Max. I like Max. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah,
I still need to send him my Dolce shirt. I packed that up and I haven't actually sent it to him yet. Because of the bet. Because of the bet. You guys bet. You guys know. All right, guys. We're gonna go head over to Max and we're gonna say something wholesome to him because we do the Talk Clack raid style. We like to be nice. We like to be wholesome. Have a good time. He's a really nice guy. And let's go give him some compliments. But guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this show today as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Check below the stream. You can find links to a lot of our little outlets there, whether you want to come join our official Discord, you want to check out some of the VODs or other content we have on the YouTube channel, or just something. There's something for everyone down there. So, go join all that good stuff. And, yeah, let's go raid Max, shall we? You sound like you have something you really need to say before we head off, Jeff.
No, I just love Piat. Thanks, Lang. Lange.
Don't you mean Lange?
Bye, friends.
Lange.
I've had a blast. Bye, friends.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Langelandia, thank you so much for hanging out with me, man. I really appreciate you stepping in and helping out. Couldn't have done it without you. Actually, that's a lie. I probably could have, but it would have been a lot worse. All right, we're going to raid Max. Get ready, everyone. All right, I'm prepping the raid now.
God.
You guys all better come
ready.
You guys all better come read with us.
Get
it's gonna be
ready.
A good time.
Say something nice to him.
Yeah, everyone needs to say something nice to him when we get into his Twitch chat. That's what we're gonna do.
Tell him he's a wonderful person.
Yes. Tell him he has wonderful hair. I actually don't know what his hair looks like right now. So.
Golly geez, you're handsome.
All right, here comes
Boy,
the raid, guys.
howdy, I love you.
Let's get it.
Get it.